This is the Vision 79 podcast, where my friend Sander and myself, Mason, discuss recent developments in our business and personal growth. The name Vision 79 comes from our respective racing numbers. Sander's is 40, mine is 39, and we have similar ambition to progress in business and personal growth. Many successful people have started small, just like us, but very few of them documented their early years. They often say they wish they had, and given we believe in learning lessons from others, we intend to be the first to document our journey from start to finish. This is simply a documentary of our lives, and as such, we do not monetize these videos, so enjoy the ad-free content. Each episode is broken down into 3 segments, each covering our progress over the past week. We start by discussing our life updates, then our business updates, and lastly, we share any lessons we've learned over the past week. We have timestamps in the description to navigate these sections easily. Today is August 16th, 2026, and we're recording episode 118. So, what is your life update this week?
Life update is relatively full for me because of life stuff. So first off, as always, next generation test work is in progress at Blue Origin. I've been having more and more people come to me to help them with stuff. So I've just been getting more and more tasking and more stuff to do, but been trying to push through it as efficiently as I can. I hit some big milestones this week in terms of test approval from responsible engineers, as well as hazard analysis documents for my tests.
Cool.
So hit some big milestones this week in regards to those things. But been busy for sure. In addition to that, to touch on the Mike's Porsche work, didn't do too much this week because he's still doing the fog lights and restoring those. He almost has them done. I saw him yesterday. But we did redo the harnessing for the taillights. Cool. I redid all those connectors back there because there was some voltage drop issues and some weird light things, and those were all really corroded. So went ahead and replaced all those connectors. I recrimped them and all that. So did that this week. On another note, I got pulled over this week, which was fun.
Me too.
Oh, really?
I got pulled over for rolling a stop sign.
In the rental?
No, in the Camaro before I left.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dang.
What did you get pulled over for?
Speeding.
How bad? Really?
Yeah.
Did you have your radar detector?
Yeah, but I had the volume down. And I didn't realize it because I've been driving around with like no music or just a podcast. So I've had it down to like 3 or 4 on the beep, where usually I have it at like 6 or 8.
Yep, I keep it high.
Yeah. And so I had the volume down and I was going to work and Samuel was in front of me and she always speeds. And she had eventually gotten up a gap to me, and I was a mile away from the building in Cocoa Beach where I work. And I tried to catch up to her after like the Cocoa main area. And so I hit it a little bit, and
in the Miata,
and it was a blacked out, unmarked Ford F-150 pickup truck cop car.
Dude, I also got pulled over by a pickup truck. It was gray. It was
gray, but it was blacked out, like the windows tinted and stuff like that.
Dude, same. Maybe it was the same cop. We should check our tickets.
Maybe. Did you get a ticket?
I got a ticket.
I didn't get a ticket.
That's fucked. How fast did he get you going?
He said he clocked me at 14 over, and then I continued accelerating from there.
And he didn't give you a ticket?
He didn't give me a ticket.
Dude, I rolled a stop sign. I slowed down. I just didn't come to a complete stop, and he wrote me a fucking ticket.
Damn, dude.
It's because I'm fucking white.
Yeah.
It must be my race.
It's because I have indigenous benefits. So I didn't get a ticket. Look at me.
It's a DEI ticket.
No,
I'm glad that you didn't get a ticket.
Yeah, it was
I
funny.
have to fucking pay to make this go away again, and it's like my fucking. I'm sick of dealing with it. What sucks is that like I try so hard to not get pulled over for speeding. I brought my radar detector with me on my trip. Like, you know, I work hard to not be caught speeding, and like so far, I have not gotten a speeding ticket with the radar detector in my car, apart from once, which is when I learned that beachside cops use K-band. That's the only time I've gotten a ticket with the radar detector in the car for speeding. I've gotten improper lane changing because I passed in the right lane. How am I supposed to pass in the left lane if there's a fucking retard in the left lane going 10 under the speed limit? And then this rolling the stop sign.
Yeah. So I did not get a ticket, but he did pull me over. He just wanted to run. Again, I didn't have proof of insurance on me because I just changed insurance policies, and so my policies are different.
Yeah, that happened.
I had a registration this time though,
which
was good. And I had my driver's license.
Is it in the Miata?
Yeah.
Got it. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's got your fucking name on the side of the car.
Yeah.
He's probably
I chatted with him a little bit. He seemed cool. I told him, you know, I autocross the car sometimes and been into racing for a long time, but I've been good over the last years in terms of like tickets and stuff like that. And he spent 5 minutes just making sure that I wasn't a registered sex offender or a criminal, I guess. I don't know. Gave me my ID back and let me go.
That's the difference, is that when my guy went back there, he was like, this guy gets a ticket every 3 fucking months. I'm going to give him another one. Fuck him. And that must have been what happened.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, he let me go, but I did
Good
get
for
pulled over.
you.
That was fun.
Smooth talker.
Yeah.
Throw a little spit in the hand and ask him to walk
I think
around
my
the back of
best
the
one
bushes.
was the friggin' U-Haul one at Florida Tech. Where
We don't have to talk about that on air.
Yeah, that was a good one. But yeah, so that happened this week. Additionally, my accountant did get back to me and said the taxes were relatively complete. The main accountant is on vacation right now. She should be back in the next week or two.
Cool.
So then I can button stuff up with her. But there are some things that are a little bit we have to work through. One of them being is that I can no longer get a hold of Anthony for his business tax ID for the U.S.
That was the guy who sold you the store?
Sold me the store, and I also paid the weekly
Got it.
money too. I can no longer get a hold of him.
Got it.
So that's a little bit.
You want me to try to call him? I can pretend I'm like the FBI or something.
I would say you could call him interested in e-commerce.
Oh, I actually could do that. I could.
Funny.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
That's probably better. I think posing as an FBI agent is probably illegal. So I'll just pretend I'm in the e-commerce.
Yeah. But that stuff is still in the work. And then the person who did my rebranding also won't respond to me.
That one I'm not surprised by.
Yeah.
I'm not.
But also,
surprised
I'm
by
kind of
anything out of it.
surprised by it because I was always polite to her and I
that.
paid on time and I gave her a lot of money.
Yeah, but she
Like-
treated you like shit.
Yeah, but like, I haven't done anything fucking wrong. Like I gave you a ton
Right.
of money. Like I didn't like get upset. I didn't dip. I was just
Yeah.
like, okay, it didn't work out. Like I'll let you know in the future. And that was it.
Same story with Anthony, but he wasn't like a total dick to you. But she was.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's
Which is why I'm not as surprised with her. But both are bummers.
yeah, whatever. That stuff is to work out. I think regardless of how that pulls through, I think I'm relatively in the clear.
Cool. You should email them and tell them that they need to respond to you, because if they don't provide you with the tax ID, then your tax bill and a penalty fee is automatically forwarded to them through the IRS.
Maybe. Yeah. So
Which
that
is not
may be,
that is not true, but it will scare them into paying.
well, what I wanted
to
to
give you-
do was see if my accountant could send a legal notice request
That's a good idea. Yeah.
because I have both their addresses.
If you have an accountant do it, that's probably a better look than just you trying to reach out.
Yeah.
Because they clearly don't give.
I sent them my accountant's info too. It was like, if you'd rather not talk to me, you can talk directly to blank. Right?
Sure. Damn.
So, no response on them. But I think I'm I think I'm good.
You have their addresses?
I should, yeah.
Do you want to dox them on air?
No.
I'm kidding.
But
But if you don't reply.
yeah, but overall the business was a loss. So not a surprise there. Quite the tanking. So had like a period of downward trending for the first 6 months, then the next 4 months upward trending, good, and then a really hard last 2 months.
Yeah.
Really, really hard. And so overall, when you crunch all the numbers big time, the sole proprietorship portion, which was run for the first half of the year, was a $15,000 loss. The S Corp portion, which was run in the second half of the year, was a $25,000 loss
42.
overall. So total cumulative, it was about a $40,000 loss last year, which is, well, you know, it's a big hit. I mean, that's why it's been a struggle.
Sure, it's a bad off.
Yeah,
Right.
you know, so it's, you know, it's been tough.
You know, in 2025 we filed a loss too. We've never filed a
Yeah.
profitable business.
Yeah, no.
We've only ever filed losses.
Yeah, so far, but they're under different LLCs, so the probability
Yes.
that the IRS comes after us is low.
No, you'll be okay. The IRS probably doesn't care if you have multiple like loss. But like if you just have like small businesses that like don't make any money and then like you fucking lose money, then they probably don't care. But it's so funny that we have a podcast where we talk about business and like we haven't made any fucking money doing business.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. We'll get there.
I have a chance
Um,
this year. There's a slim chance that I am able to make a profit this year.
Ooh, nice.
Potentially. It depends on how much money I dump into ads.
But yeah, so that was some news this week. I'd say the biggest piece of news is that Sammy and I have been actively looking for a new place to live.
That's right.
Um,
Wait, stop. Can you file that 15K as a deduction from your personal income?
correct,
And you can't from the S corp?
correct,
Why?
because it's a corporation. It's not an LLC.
Okay,
It's
got
not
it.
a standard LLC. It's filing with the IRS as a corporation.
Okay, got it. So from whatever profit the company made,
If I
you
had
can deduct
not
from
made
that
it
first.
a S corp, I would have been able to.
Right. But assuming that like you can write off the loss business expenses on your personal income as a sole prop. For the S corp, it can write off its expenses before paying you out or before you get the debt.
Right, but
So you
it's going
still
to be
deduct. It's just it's deducting, not you personally deducting.
yeah, but it's not going to help me in any way. It's just
Right.
going to essentially say like, oh, the business didn't make any money, bah humbug.
Right. Right.
Right.
Okay.
It's not going to be deductions off of taxable income
Right.
because the business didn't have any income.
But if it had an income, the way that the S
Yes,
corp
it
works
would've.
is that it would have taken it off of that.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I got it.
So, yeah, the biggest update though is that Sammy and I have been looking for a new place. You and Grace helped us tour a townhouse in Satellite Beach. Very much appreciate that. Sammy and I liked it. It was a nice canal view, some decent space, 2 floors.
Good price.
Yeah, a decent price. The owner has decided to sell the property instead of rent it.
It's real estate.
So we're obviously not going to rent that one.
Dude, we were in the Thousand Islands on a boat, and I got that email from Eric, the listing agent, and I was like, bro, this is the most. I feel so bad for Sandra and Sammy because you guys are like, fucking qualified
like, whatever.
applicants, ready to pay. You found the perfect spot, like all the stars are aligned, and then it was just like, oh, never mind. They decided to sell, and they are halfway across the world, so they might not respond for 24 hours. 2 thumbs up. Okay, pal. All right.
Yeah.
And like, it's not the real estate agent's fault, right? Like,
No,
it's-
not at all.
No, it's the seller being indecisive.
Yeah,
and
we did get a
sucks.
refund for the application. So
That's good. That's good.
But
Yeah, I'm sure they're really hurting for $50 selling their income-producing property while they're on vacation in Spain.
I don't know. Sammy found the owner online. You ever see people on Instagram
Yeah.
who have an extremely luxurious life, but they don't have like a bio or some sort of credentials to back it up? For example, this person
Sure.
says registered nurse in their bio, but they're also in like a foreign country every other week.
Are they hot?
eating- Well, they're attractive. Yeah, relatively attractive. And Sammy was like, she's a registered nurse. She's making good money. And I was like, she is not eating at a 5-star Michelin restaurant off a fucking registered nurse's salary.
So you could be leveraged really heavily, but that's not common. Usually,
Well, she's
you
married.
see that. That's usually what you see.
Sammy didn't like that. I think it's just factual information.
I think it's
because a
probably
registered nurse
factual
does not
information.
make.
Do you know what her
500K a
husband
year.
does?
No, I didn't look that far.
Is he in the social media post? Was he at the 5-star Michelin restaurant?
No, actually, funny enough,
Interesting.
I don't know. Don't care. Whatever. Not
Doesn't
my
matter.
problem.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Not my problem. But yes, Sammy was like, she's a registered nurse. She does well for herself. And I was like, she is married. Registered nurses do not make this much money.
No,
Okay?
I mean,
My
dude,
grandmother is a registered nurse. She still works. She's in her 80s.
dude, they don't make much more than we do. Do you eat at 5-star Michelin restaurants
No, I don't.
regularly?
No,
Are you married to an unknown wealthy man?
not that I know of.
Well, then it tracks, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does track. But
You know what? Sammy's grieving, right? She's in denial. She's in the denial phase of the grief process. I get it. She was excited about that townhome, and I understand why. It's a cool place. You guys, I looked up if you got it for $299 with an extra $6K for closing costs, so finance $305 with a 3% down payment, then the monthly mortgage would be like $2,000 plus insurance and maintenance and shit like that.
yeah,
And so like that lady could have bought it for around that price. I didn't see what she actually did buy it for back in the day. But she could have just been doing like an equity build type thing. She might not have been making money off the thing. So like maybe it's all paid off now and she's ready to cash out. I don't really know.
yeah. I don't know, speculation, but we did go and see a single bay house in Merritt Island. It was
It's a single bay house.
It was a single bay garage house.
I
Single
love
bay house.
that's how you delete.
Yeah, that's how I broke these up.
Yeah.
That's how I remember. But that one had a Nice little canal view as well, a little bit bigger backyard, fenced in. Total square footage is like 1,100 and change or something.
Okay.
Nice place, nice appliances, no problems. Owners were good. They wanted 2,000 a month as well.
Mhm.
The garage was small, but it had one. And it was a relatively good location. So we thought about applying to that one for quite a bit. I'll get into what we're, kind of waiting on. From there, but that was a good place, solid place. Owners were really good, all that jazz. Then the next day, we saw a house in Merritt Island that had a double bay garage.
Mhm.
And it was 2,100.
Mhm.
We got there, and I wanted to be really excited about this house. I was not excited about this house.
Mm.
I had the same windows as Tim's place, the
Mhm.
one I'm currently at.
Right.
Cast iron piping. They said they have had to snake the drain for previous tenants before.
Is this beachside or Merritt Island?
Merritt Island.
Okay.
It was like clearly rough. Like the paint was rough, the cabinets were rough, the kitchen appliances were rough, the windows were rough, the bathroom was very out of date. The lights it had that very similar flavor to what the duplex feels like.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know about this.
Mhm.
And then on top of that, I was like, is the place going to get a professional cleaning before we move in? Because there was like dust and dirt and stuff like that. Nope. And then I was like, okay, if something.
The condition you tour in is the condition they will deliver it to you in.
The
99%
previous
of
house that we
people's
saw,
worlds, I know.
the single bed garage one, they said they do a professional cleaning before we moved in.
Did you ask?
They actually offered it to us.
Really?
Yes.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
Everyone is always like turnkey, ready to go. Like, I'll sign today if you get approved. Everyone's like very minimal.
No,
So that's good. That's
awesome.
above and beyond.
They were awesome.
Good.
But that place, I started asking them questions about like, okay, if water heater goes out or washer or dryer go out, is that on us or is that on the landlord? And he was like, well, if it's under a few $100, it's on you. If it's above that, it's on the landlord.
Well, that's
and I
real
was like,
vague.
that could very quickly turn into
Right.
a debate. Because what if something costs $350? And it's like, well, I could find it for cheaper than you're responsible for, right? Like,
What if two things break at the same time and now you're spending thousands,
right?
but they're each
Right,
a couple
individual $200 items
Yeah.
every other week.
Get it in
right?
writing.
It's a
Yeah, you got to
problem.
get it in writing.
So that was an issue. And then I said, okay, well, what if something major breaks, like a water heater, right? That's more than a few $100.
AC.
AC. And he was like, oh yeah, the owner has a warehouse full of other units. You can just swap it. And I was like, fuck that shit. I was like, that is the same shit I was told when I was moving into the duplex.
Facebook.
And you know what I
Marketplace.
got? Fucking Facebook Marketplace bullshit.
Yeah.
And my garage footed 3 times. I'm like getting angry just thinking about the fucking proposition of that
Yeah.
shit. So I was like, no way. And not doing
A good
that.
call.
Yeah, no shot. I mean, the garage was really nice. It was a double bay, big bay. But I was just like, no way.
You also have a garage to work in. Like,
Yeah.
wherever you move to, having a garage will be nice because you can park your car there and like probably store some stuff there. But really, like, having a lot of garage space you have for what you need for working on stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, it would be nice, but it's not the end of the world.
Yeah. The other thing is that I've kind of been a stickler about at least having one bay available because once I do get the Porsche on the road, it will have to be garaged.
Mm.
That car does not do well outside.
Mine doesn't either.
Yeah. So I'm a stickler about that from that perspective. But yeah, that place wasn't it. Also had a weird smell inside, and Sammy and I both felt like congested and like hard of breathing after 30 minutes being in there, and we were like, nah, fuck this. So that was not it. The next day, we toured a home on Patrick Space Force Base.
On base?
Yeah, on base, open to the public.
Interesting.
That one was a no-to for several reasons. One, it's a real hassle to get in.
Yep.
And 2, if you want guests, it's a real hassle for them.
Yep. I didn't know that there was publicly accessible spaces
There
on
is.
the Space Force base.
Yeah, for
Interesting.
rent. Yeah.
Interesting.
Obviously very safe. But inside, it's a single bay garage unit, 2 stories.
Dude, the military police out there do not fuck around.
I know. Sammy was trying to speed, and I was like,
No,
slow the
you
fuck
can't do
down,
that.
dude.
They'll fucking arrest you.
I
Dude,
know.
one time
it's like KSC or worse. Like you,
It's
like
worse.
you gotta go.
Dude, my buddy was driving up Patrick going on Pineda. He turned onto Pineda right there by the gate, right? And he was accelerating up the on-ramp and it was lightly raining, and he slid his BMW wagon and he hit the concrete wall.
Oh yeah, I
And
remember.
they thought it was like a bombing or something. And so the military police came out and had like the fucking AKs pointed at him and stuff. They got like a helicopter out there. Like they were arrested and detained for like 6 hours while they went through all their shit. They like, took their parents into custody and like interrogated them too. Like they do not fuck around.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah,
I
no, that was a
digress.
no. Additionally, the homes had the exact same vibe as the Fortitech dorms. Same colors, same cabinets, same appliances,
They just opened their new
same
ones.
everything.
Have you seen that?
What?
They just opened their new dorms.
I haven't seen them.
You know the soccer fields next to
Yeah.
Southgate? Soccer fields are gone.
Oh,
Giant new beautiful dorms that they
Oh.
just opened. Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
Huh.
So like we just missed it.
Yeah, but it felt like the old dorms in there, and I really didn't like that. And additionally, we weren't actually able to tour the home we'd be signing a lease for. We were only able to tour a model home
Yep, that's bad.
because when places become available on the Space Force, they put them up available for lease immediately.
Mhm.
But after the tenant moves out, they have a period of about a month where they do small repairs and other stuff like that. In that period of a month, it's not deemed safe for occupancy.
Yep.
So the house is on the market getting applications for it while it's not safe for occupancy. And
Mhm.
because it's not safe for occupancy, you can't tour it.
Yep.
And so you're essentially bidding blind against other people for a house you've never seen before.
Yeah, you do not want to go
For
inside. those.
$2,300 a month, I might add.
Jesus. How
And
big
I
was
was
it?
like, no, 1,200 square feet. Actually, a little less.
So not that much bigger
No,
than
I was
Did
like,
it have a garage?
no way. It was single bay.
That's expensive.
Very.
I guess
very.
you get the added benefit of being. Is there like amenities you can use there or no?
Washer and dryer is not included.
I meant like
Everything
a pool.
else is.
Oh, shit.
I don't. There are
Like an
some,
HOA.
I think, but
Huh.
I don't know about a pool.
That's expensive. You get the added benefit of
Yeah.
like you're safe because you're on the Space Force base, but like I don't know. You're also a
Yeah.
target if we ever go to
You're
war.
also a target. You're also like not safe.
Yeah, you're safe
Um,
from like petty theft and small crimes. Like you're not gonna get mugged like on your
You're
way to your
not safe
car.
from like bombs.
You could be hit with a missile. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So I didn't like that place. The more I thought about it, the more I hated it. And Sammy didn't like it either, which was disappointing for her because she really liked the view out of them. That was the main
Mhm.
reason for us seeing them was the river view.
Yeah.
Looking out on the water.
Yeah.
But we weren't even able to see that because we couldn't tour the homes because we toured a model home.
Yeah.
And like I was already looking at the model home and I was like, I already don't like the quality of this. And it's like if this is the model home, like the
nicest
fucking
one,
real home ain't gonna be any better than this.
It'll be worse, almost
Yeah.
certainly.
Yeah, certainly. So that was what we did there. And then Friday, I hopped over to Mike's place to do the taillight stuff. And, he's informed about, I'm looking for rental this, rental that. And then he was like, oh, like, instead of keep doing this 914 stuff, let's hop up to my dad's place. I want to grab the boat. Because at that point, we're like, oh, we'll go on the boat Saturday, which I'll get into too. But we went up to his dad's place. And I found my dream rental, like 100%. Like
His
this
dad's
is
house?
the house. Yeah, this is the like.
Is the
I
house
won't-
for rent?
It may be at the start of next year.
Oh, I thought you were inferring that like we went to Mike's dad's place where dad lives.
Where dad did live.
Used to
He
live.
passed away. Yeah,
So it's vacant.
his mom and dad. Yeah, passed away. Well, his girlfriend and his girlfriend's sister are living there now.
Mike's girlfriend or Mike's dad's girlfriend?
Mike's girlfriend.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean it was like picture perfect.
Mhm.
It was like I saw the house and I was like, "Oh my god, like this is what I've been." It was two car what is it called when it just has the roof? Carport. Two
Two-car
car
carport.
wide
Okay.
carport, 2-bay garage with another house portion attached. He said that some family might live there in the future. But then the main section off of that has a big pool, really beautiful. His parents own the house, and then he owns the house since 1960, since it was built.
Oh, cool.
It's on the river,
Mhm.
like on the water. Like we got there, it was close to sunset. There was like 2 sailboats
Is this
out,
Satellite Beach.
Merritt Island.
So is it on the Indian River or the Banana?
I don't know the names.
The left river or the right? Is it on the east or west side of Merritt Island?
On the west.
Okay, so that's the Indian River.
Yeah,
Cool. That's the bigger river.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
That's important because that is one of the more protected regions to be in a storm.
Oh, got it.
So like
got
if
it.
you're on the Banana River, like if you're on Satellite Beach on the ocean or on the Banana River
Yeah.
side or on Merritt Island, Banana River side, you're getting all that wind from the barrier island. But
Yeah.
if you're on the other side facing the Indian River, I guess I'm backwards for you, facing the Indian River, then that's one of the more sheltered places to be, which is good.
Yeah. It was it was, you know, we got there, sailboats out on the water, dolphins were jumping through the water. It was like picture perfect.
Mhm. So
And
is this south of, is this like on Chalk
I don't
Trail?
want to get into too much detail
Got it,
about the
cool.
location because
No worries.
he is very private about it.
Sure, sure.
You know, but
There's a lot of
it's
houses on that river.
it's
So like we've been
on the
vague enough
river
so
on
far.
Merritt Island.
Got it.
Gorgeous.
Cool.
You know, it was like you walk into the main portion of the house, the entire wall is glass. The entire wall looking over the water. And it was just beautiful house. Like beautiful single story, you know, like not a huge like 2-story house, but you know, 1960s like ultimate luxury is essentially what it was. And it was gorgeous.
Does it have a conversation pit like in the living room? So there's like stairs that go down in the living room.
It does have a
so
step up to the bedrooms. As a
okay, got it.
too high step up about this high.
Gotcha.
Going up to the bedrooms. It has a recessed bathtub, which I've never seen in person before.
Like down into the ground?
Right. So the top of the lip of the bathtub is level with the floor.
That's kind of cool.
And then it actually has steps going down. It's all tiled with that little green blue tile. It's like all tiled up. It's beautiful. Beautiful
cool.
house.
Less likely to slip and kill yourself getting out of the tub.
Yeah. Maybe. But I mean, it was just like I saw this place and I was like, this is what Sammy and I have been hoping to find. Like this place is perfect.
So did you go? You were talking to Mike about it, and he was like, "Let me go show you this place and see." if you
No,
like
we
it
were
as an
just going to
option."
grab the boat.
Got it. So while
it
you were
was
there,
there.
you were like, "Would you rent it to me?"
Right.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, if you ever consider renting it, like, please let me know.
Yeah.
And you know, he has some stuff to sort out with the place, and I'm not going to pressure him into it. But I basically told Sammy, I was like, just let Mike work through his stuff. Let me work with it. We're gonna wait out for this one, and then if this doesn't pan out for whatever reason, we can continue our search at the start of next year.
Sure.
I was like, I am willing to like deal with the problems of the duplex just on the prospect of getting this place.
Yeah. Plus, new stuff hits the market all the time.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, if someone's looking for a place and they don't like what's on the market right now, I say wait 3 months and then look again, right? And so if you wait 6 months to the end of the year or 4 months till the end of the year, there'll be like a whole fresh batch of stuff and like you'll have new options.
Yeah. But I mean, it was just like the yard after the glass windows, the yard tapers into the river, and then there are just palm trees right there, and it just like fades into the river. Like there's no like break off, there's no like wall, there's no like dock or anything. It just like it feels like the whole house like just it's just gorgeous. I mean the beautiful property, beautiful house. Pool is gorgeous. It's got like weird little hidden rooms and stuff like that. It's very cool. But yeah, it was awesome place, and I was like, I will just wait out for this. That's what I'm gonna do.
Cool.
So that's about the prospect right now, or we hoping for that to work out. But in addition to that, we obviously did take the boat out after we got it. We went out yesterday. Sammy and I went out with Mike's girlfriend, and his girlfriend's sister.
Got it.
It was five of us.
Cool.
So we went out to the sandbar, tore up and down the inlet. Had a bunch of fun, good time. Sammy brought some snorkel masks, and I brought some like it's like ping pong for the water.
Gotcha.
So I brought that and just hung out. I had one of the remoras shark sucker fish try to attach to my leg like 3 or 4 or 5 times. And so I ended up just trying to run away, and then it chased me. Wanted to sit on my leg.
We went deep sea fishing. My family and I did one time, and someone caught it. And like the deep sea fishing charters always like try to get like the customers to let it suck onto their arm because it leaves like a mark, and no one would do it. So my dad did it. And it left a mark on his arm. It was there for a couple hours. Like it lasted for a while. Yeah, they suck on like pretty well.
Dang.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a ton of fun. That house, I'm really not the type of person to be like, oh man, I really love that house. Like I don't think I've ever like.
Yeah.
There are very few places that I've seen and been like, man, that's nice.
Yeah.
One of them being, the guy I used to maintain the Ferrari 612 for at Autobahn. and he had
Dude,
the 250 GTO.
If I win
and
the
other stuff.
lottery, that's the house I'm gonna buy him at.
That house, actually, like,
Yeah.
you've never been up in the driveway and stuff
No,
like that.
I've
but-
never been into the property. I've only seen it from Google Earth.
Yeah, I mean, but you drive up to that place and you're like, oh my God.
Yep.
Like, this is insane.
Yep.
The house I saw in Maradona didn't give the same vibes because it's not like a 2-story with like blue glass beads over like foreign trees from Japan, right? Like it's not that.
Yeah, no, that's
right?
a crazy Batman compound. Like,
Right.
that's nuts.
Exactly.
It's more than one home too. Like it's like there's multiple structures.
Yeah, there's hidden homes in there too, which
yeah.
is wild.
Yeah, it's sick.
Crazy. Yeah, but it definitely was
we should
wow,
DM
this
him.
is
We should
gorgeous.
give him a booty call and see if he'll just like let us hang out. Just like let us vibe.
But yeah, it's very few times where I've been like, wow, this is gorgeous. And the location is really good. It's
Don't get too specific.
it's convenient. But just beautiful home.
Cool.
But that is about what I have for life this week.
It's a good
It was busy. It was a lot of touring.
Mhm.
Some odd end stuff with work and whatever, and just kind of buttoning some stuff up from last year's business, as well as going out on a boat. It's been about a year and a half since I've been out on, or actually 2.5 years since I've been out on a boat.
Yeah.
Last
We
time-
also went
was a
out
while
on a
ago.
boat this weekend, and it was weird because I used to spend multiple hours a day on the water every day,
Mhm.
all year.
Right.
And like I haven't rowed in like a year and a half, almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years in December, which is a really weird feeling. But also like I haven't just been on the water at all in like that
Right.
long either. So it was a weird feeling being away for that long and then going back.
Yeah, I want to. It made me think. I was like, Mike, we got to get your boat. He obviously we took out one of those boats, but he has another larger boat, right?
Got it.
You've seen that shell, the white one.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
It's like a cigarette boat, right?
It's
a racing
sorta,
boat?
but it's dual hull or whatever you would call it. It's
Okay.
like two, right?
Got it.
It's a racing boat.
Yeah.
But I was like, we should get that going. That'd be so fun.
Dude.
Um,
Fucking there's no fuck like you know how I'm like very much like you're not into like off-road rally and like I would love to do off-road rally in cars, right? Your skepticism for off-road rally is equivalent if not weaker than my like hesitancy to get on really fast boats. Like dude, like rally crashes from like onboard cameras and offboard crashes, it's like sometimes you roll and you live or other times lights out, you hit a tree, you're done, right? Boats, dude, you get beat up before you drown.
Yeah.
Like the high-speed boat crashes are like harrowing. No
Yeah.
brakes on boats. It's just water resistant.
Oh,
It
yeah.
scares the shit out of me, dude.
No,
I wish you and Mike a lot of fun, and I will watch
Dude,
from the sidelines, and I'll have
I
the
bet it would
everyone's
be a
on speed
blast.
dial. Dude, people used to take their speedboats to Canal 54, and so we would row, and there would be people just fucking like
Yeah.
just fucking 200 miles an
Hammering.
hour. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's just a straight shot down to the dam. So like
Right.
you can run the whole fucking 20 miles in like minutes, like stupid fast. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, had a bunch of fun this week.
Mhm.
Alongside a bunch of different tours,
Mhm.
and I'm just waiting out for Mike's house to see if he'll rent it to me. He's never rented out the place to anyone else.
Right.
It's always just been in the family, and it's always been a family home.
Sure.
His dad, it's it was his dad's home, and yada
Mm-hmm.
yada. But it's
But you're his favorite tenant.
I'm the best little tenant.
If
So
you continue to pay on time and help him with this Porsche, then seriously, like
Yeah.
he might not look at the property and say this could be an income producing property, but instead he might look at it as like, well, Sanders basically family anyways, so like I'll make a little money,
Yeah,
but
maybe.
like I'll let him stay here because I trust him instead of just
Yeah.
having a
He hates
random
cats,
person.
though.
Oh,
he
really?
he said if you move in there, you got to move the furniture out. I was like, all right, I'll
Yeah.
deal with that part.
Dude, normally it's like some cats are like, no, they'll be okay. It's not Zonda, dude. Has he met Zonda?
Yeah.
That's
Zonda's
why
a
he's
li-
like
a
get the
little
furniture out of
animal.
there. He's a fucking Tasmanian devil, dude. He's
Yeah.
nuts. Yeah.
But I've never had them like they'll tear up carpet, like the carpet parts, right? But I've never had them like break shit like vases or glassware.
Yeah.
And I've never seen them like some cats get like really rough with like wood corners too. They'll
Yep.
like tear them up and stuff like that. I've never seen them do that. It's only like a carpet on the floor, like
Yeah.
a piece of carpet that they can then grab and pull towards them.
Yep.
They'll pull it over themselves and then like roll in it. That's the only time I've ever seen them like go after stuff.
Yeah.
And then the couch, on the corner there.
Mhm.
They'll get it, but that's just because I let them do it.
Yeah.
You
Dude,
know.
I was really worried that our cats were gonna fuck up my parents' house, but they were actually really good.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
But that's what I got for life this week.
Cool, dude. That's
What
a
do
good
you
update.
Yeah. What do you got for life this week?
So my life update is pretty much my entire update this week because I went out of town for most of it. Before any of that though, I'll say this before I forget. So I got the Lexus cleaned today because I've got really bad brake rotor dust from the new brakes.
Oh, okay.
And I work with Coastal Mobile Detailing because one time I went to a Blue Marlin event and I saw them detailing one of the agent's cars and I was like, they look like they know what they're doing. So like I have had them clean the car a couple times, right? This time I was like, I'm not going to get the higher tier package where they do like the ceramic coating or whatever, right? It's like $250. Instead, I'm going to get the cheaper, like $150 one. And then when I was checking out, there was a note. It was like, hey, for like an extra 15 or $20, do you want to have the engine bay cleaned? And I was like, yeah, okay, why not? I mean, it looks like kind of dusty in there. Like it would be cool to rinse it down. I've never cleaned an engine bay before, but like, I'd rather not let it fall into a state of disrepair and then like it never be nice again, right? You remember what the engine bay looked like, right?
Yeah.
Kind of dusty, kind of shitty.
Yeah, it
Dude,
looks
this
like road
looks
dust.
fucking brand new from
Oh, wow.
factory. They put UV protectant coating in there so that it doesn't fade as bad again. This is incredible, dude. Like
Wow.
they
That
normally
is nice.
they normally do a good job cleaning like the exterior and interior of the car. And like on a whim, I decided to try the engine bay. I'm so fucking glad that I did because like I came
That's
out
nice.
like, dude,
Yeah.
this was like all speckled and shitty before. I'm so happy with how it came out. The rest of the car
Nice.
looks great too, as always. But like this in particular, I was impressed,
Yeah.
especially by. So it's that's I just wanted to interject with that before I get into like the rest of my stuff because that happened this morning and I know I forgot to talk about it. But Coastal Mobile Detailing, they did a great job.
Yeah.
What the fuck was
Apologies for the camera. We had like the strangest interaction.
I don't know why
behind the scenes.
she just like walked in and like waved
Walked
and
in,
walked out.
waved at us, and then
I don't recognize her as an agent.
that was very strange.
Anyways,
All right.
so
back.
so I had that done this morning. That was fucking awesome. Super happy about that. It was like $170 total, which like I'm happy to pay. Also, we had to park the car outside the whole time we were out of town, so like we got home and the car was dirty. Much happier now. It's clean. Okay.
That's good.
Before leaving for our trip, I had to button some stuff up at Northrop. On Friday, I left work in a tizzy because I had been asked to fill out a capture sheet, which is basically like, hey, detail plan the next 6 months of work. But they didn't give me my firm proposal numbers to use that I had bid like a few weeks ago. They gave me our NTE or not to exceed contract values from over a year ago, where we just made like a throw shit at the wall and see what sticks guess, right?
Yeah.
So now I have to use that number, which is way lower than our actual number, to predict like what we're going to be doing for the next 6 months. So I came in early on Monday and got in touch with my cost analyst and I was like, hey, this is all fucked. Can you help me? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, I need this quickly because I have to have this done before noon or I have to drop it on my boss to do before I leave. And he was like, got it. Sounds good. He did not have it done by the time I left. So I had been coordinating with my boss like this whole weekend. And so like before we left, I talked to him and I was like, hey, I'm going to need you to help me out and do this work while I'm out of town.
Sure.
And he was like, I understand. Like, some people just, you couldn't have done anything better. And I was like, yeah, I have all these other things completed. These are all the status on everything. I know this manager needs stuff from me every month. The work is done. He's not going to know what any of this means. I explain it to him every month. Here's the explanation. Just copy paste this into an email when he asks, right? Like I had all my shit ready to go. And this was like an hour before I was planning to leave because I was in for the first half of Monday. And I was like, I think you have everything. Is there anything else that you need me to send you, like any links or anything before I leave? And he was like, no, I think you're good. And I was like, okay, awesome. He was like, you've been really nailing it lately. And I was like, thank you. I appreciate it. And he was like, yeah, I didn't realize that you were doing this much until like now having to cover for you. So I appreciate it. And I was like, sure. Which was good. It was nice to get a little bit of
Yeah, that's
recognition.
awesome.
And when I went and talked to my other manager, the guy, my functional, who's like in charge of my career, I was like, hey, gave him an update on a couple different things, let him know that I have to schedule a meeting for the week that I get back and he needs to be a part of it because he has knowledge in something. And he was like, oh, like, is there anything that you need me to cover for? And I was like, no, I got the other guy doing it. He was like, oh, you delegated. And I was like, yeah. He was like, nice. I like to see that. So all seems well there. I don't know what I'm going to be coming back to. I know it's going to be a lot of emails, and I have a lot of things due on Tuesday. So like Monday is going to be, I'm probably just going to set my status to like still out of town and then just like crank through my email and try to get caught up on everything.
Yeah.
But I have to put together our rough order of magnitude request for estimate proposal. So I have to go take all of the basis of estimates from all the department managers and then put it into whatever tool they want. And then there's another one. We're on contract to do work right now, and we got a request to like add another acronym. I don't know if I can say it. I think it's fine. Another package onto our contract. And so like it's a weird little thing that I have to do. And like one of the department managers asked me for clarification right before I left, and I don't think he understands what the scope of work is. So like that might be an issue when I get back. But we'll see. I left and I was like, if you need me, just call me. Like you know how to get to me. I might not have signal, but it's fine. So I left work in good standing. So
Good.
hopefully I come back to good standing.
Nice.
But that day we drove to Sanford Airport. We dropped the cats off at my parents' house. I was worried they were going to destroy everything, but they wound up being really good. They like to pull at the carpet, and they'll like reach under the bedroom door and pull at the carpet, or they try to. One of them opens doors, and then the other one goes through the door and fucks everything up. So like Simba will open like the closet, and then Sprout will climb all the clothes in the closet and fuck everything up. And so I told my parents ahead of time, like I wrote them a little manuscript, and I was like, here's how to care for them, and here's what you should be aware of. They will try to run outside. They'll try to eat shit. They'll break whatever, right? Like the orange one's going to get all the way on top of the cabinets, and he's going to jump straight down. You're going to be worried about him. He'll be fine. Just leave him alone. The orange one, it doesn't eat anything, and then he eats too fast and he throws up. He'll throw up 3 or 4 times in a row. It's not abnormal. Like just let him do his thing. So they wound up being great. They didn't throw up at all, from my knowledge. They didn't
Good.
tear up any like curtains. They were very sweet. So they didn't make me look like an idiot, which I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
And my parents had fun with them, so
Nice.
all is well there. So we go to the Sanford Airport, drop off the car. The flight up there was fine. The trip, I was unaware of what the trip really was until we got there. But the first half was going to Rochester to see where Grace grew up. Then the second half was going to her grandpa's cabin in the Adirondacks, which
Okay.
is a region on the St. Lawrence River, which is the river that connects the Great Lakes to the ocean, right?
Yeah.
So like north. So we fly into Rochester. We stay with her mom in the house that Grace grew up in, one of the houses Grace grew up in. And I had booked a rental car ahead of time. And I had thought about getting like a convertible because it would be fun to drive around the mountains in a convertible. And then I was like, no, I'm going to do the fiscally responsible choice and I'm going to get a 4-door sedan. I'll get like a Camry or like an Altima or something. And like, I'll enjoy it because I like driving new cars. And like, I'll get to see what a Nissan Altima is all about, right? And we got there at like 11 p.m. and the guy behind the desk was like, hey, so we're like out of everything basically. And I was like, cool, what do you have? And he was like, I have a Chrysler Pacifica, kill me. I have a Kia Carnival, no thank you. I have a truck, okay. And I have a red convertible Ford Mustang. And I was like, cook me up, brother. And I was like, is there an upcharge? And he was like, no, if you book through whatever we booked through, I legally cannot upcharge you. And I was like, awesome, give me that fucking car. So
Yeah.
I got it. And it was manufactured in April, and it has 8,000 miles on it. So it was like an actually brand new car,
Nice.
which was really nice. And at first I was like, it's an EcoBoost. So it's a
Yeah.
4-cylinder
Turbo.
mid.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4-cylinder turbo mid, whatever. But I got in the car with an open mind, and it was actually fun. It was, I mean, it's a convertible, so there's a lot of twist, right?
Sure.
The roads up north are fucking horrific. The worst roads down here are some of the best up north. But like every time you hit a bump, like the whole cowl shakes like
Yeah.
terribly. The suspension was not as sporty. Like it wasn't as grounded as I would want it to be, but it's also not as soft as I would want it to be either.
Sure.
So it's not like, it doesn't have like the sports car feel, but it also doesn't have like the luxury car feel. It was like just a weird in the middle, which I didn't really like. Way too much power steering assist. I could not feel shit. Like even fully loaded, like you could turn the steering wheel with 2 fingers, which I don't like.
Yeah.
What else about the car? It had the premium package, which meant it had heated and cooled seats and a heated steering wheel, which was nice.
Yeah.
Because with the top down and the seat heaters on,
Mhm.
that was very nice. It had surprisingly more power than I was expecting.
Yeah.
It's got 315 horsepower from the 4-cylinder. It's a turbocharger, but you wouldn't know it. It's got good pickup at lower RPMs.
Nice.
it would heavily benefit from paddle shifters, which I very rarely say about cars because paddle shifters are usually shit. But this car had a really difficult time anticipating what I wanted from it. And so it would either rev hang really badly after I had like let off and was cruising and it would just hang out at 4,000 RPM, or it would like not pick up and then pick up too quickly. I almost got it to break traction a couple times, like just for fun, just like doing little slides. But what I found is that even with traction control off, it doesn't just let it rip. It has some type of like throttle position sensor
Yeah.
traction control system in there where if I put my foot to the floor with traction control off, it will gradually move the throttle
Yeah.
by wire, which is frustrating.
Mhm.
But I still got it to kick loose a couple times. Having a convertible up north was really nice because you like, I mean, down
Yeah,
here,
it's beautiful up there.
yeah, like down here, the weather up there, it was like mid 70s during the day, but breezy. So like a crisp fall day in Florida. And then at night it was in the 60s. And so you could sleep with the window open. It was great. With the convertible top down at night, it was like cold. So that was nice. And Grace was like, oh, like she used to have a convertible Fiat. She had a Fiat 500.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And she was like, oh, I really miss having a convertible. And I was like, you'd never fucking use one in Florida. You use it at night and that's it. And the one day of winter we get. And like, that's all you
That's
use
what it
for.
is in the Miata. I mean, when I was up in Tennessee with the Miata, we drove around every day with the top down. It's perfect.
Exactly. And the whole trip, I was like, I bet if we see an LC 500, it'll be a convertible because it's the weather where you want it. We did not see one. We were not in nice enough areas.
I saw that gray one again I told you about.
Oh, yeah?
The matte wrapped one.
Dude, man. So I was like, man, like it really did make the trip super memorable for me, right?
Yeah.
Grace wanted to take me around some of the slummier areas of Rochester to show me like where she spent time growing up. But when we got the car, she was like, we cannot go there in a fucking bright red sports car. And like, it turned heads, which I'm not used to. Like in the Camaro, I'm used to it turning heads because it's loud as shit, but not because it's like a flashy looking car.
Sure.
I disappear in the Lexus. Like people don't even notice me in the Lexus. It's great. I love that.
Yeah.
In a bright red sports car with like sound, like the engine sound piped in through the speakers with the top down, like it turned heads everywhere we went.
Nice.
Which I was not a huge fan of personally, but especially being on vacation where if I get robbed, that's like all my shit.
Yeah.
But it was still fun. It made the trip super memorable, and I'm glad that we got the car.
Good.
And it was reliable. I warmed it up. Interestingly, the steering wheel is, you know how in pretty much every car, the steering wheel is flat in one plane, right? In this car, it's like, imagine the steering wheel is flat in the plane, but then you take the circle steering ring and then you just pull it forward.
Yep.
It was like that.
Yeah.
Which at first I was like, this feels weird and I don't like it. But I wound up really enjoying it because when you go to press the buttons, they're angled inward. And so your thumb can reach it more easily.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the steering wheel. The side bolsters were a little too close to where like when I turn, I like to get my elbow back behind my torso like this. But with the seat bolsters, I couldn't do that. So I had to really turn more with my outside hand.
Yeah.
What else? It had tire pressure sensors, similar to the Lexus. It had a data screen. Interestingly, on the data screen, it had cylinder head temp, it had engine oil temp, transmission oil temp, coolant temp, your air to fuel ratio, and your vacuum pressure, and your battery voltage.
That's weird.
It had a bunch of data.
Huh.
I really enjoyed that screen.
Yeah,
that had
it's
everything
kinda
that I
fun.
needed. It was super fun.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I had a good time with the car. That's one of my more memorable parts of the trip, right? The rest of the trip was super fun. In Rochester, Grace has always explained it to me as like kind of slummy. That was not my experience. It was very nice. Like a lot of Rochester city is like really nice. We went to a mall just to take a shit, and it was a really nice mall. We wound up walking around there for like an hour. It was way better than like the mall at Millennia or like the malls here. We went to a couple food places that were really nice. I have some photos. Grace took me to a cemetery, which I was like, okay, the cemeteries I'm used to are like fucking soccer fields with rows of tombstones in them, right?
Right.
This is
Yeah,
one
the
of
ones up north are very different.
one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to.
Yeah.
Like big, like rolling hills, like beautiful cobblestone roads and stuff. This is a good example of it. Like, you know, just gorgeous weather.
Yeah, it looks like the ones in Massachusetts.
Yeah, beautiful. I really loved it. That was where she took me first. and I adored it there. The cemetery there wound up being my favorite part of the trip.
Huh.
It, like, hands down. The food that we got, we went to like some restaurant that Grace knows, but like that's the salad she got.
Oh, that's awesome.
It looks like and tasted the best of any salad
Yeah.
I've ever had, which is great. What else did we do up there? She took me to Wegmans.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
They have them in Massachusetts. Yeah.
Fucking reset the bar for
Yeah.
like grocery stores and businesses.
Yeah, it's like Publix on steroids.
Dude, it makes Publix look like a fucking super Walgreens. Like,
Yeah. No, Wegmans is awesome.
incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
We stopped there at night to get food, and like I didn't have a full appreciation for it, but we went there the next morning to get more food. And walking around, I was like, holy shit, like the attention to detail here is incredible, but it's like a grocery store meets a wholesale like BJ's or Sam's Club plus a Panera Bread and like all these like, you know how, have you ever been to Buc-ee's where they like make the fudge
yeah.
there? Like they have their own little like square
Oh,
that
yeah.
you watch them work. They had that for cheese. They had that for the deli. They had a Japanese guy cutting sushi and a white guy with long hair who looked like an anime weeb. Like the people you would want making sushi. Like
Yeah, no, Wegmans is awesome.
Wegmans fucking rocks,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
So sick. And like the attention to detail is incredible. The lighting is soft, warm lighting and indirect lighting. So like when you're walking around, like tables cast shadows onto walls where it's not brightly lit, right? But there's spotlights hooked up so that when you're looking at a table, the items you're looking at are brightly lit. But it doesn't burn your eyes out like a Publix or a Target where it's just like white incandescent light, right? I mean, fantastic. I really, really enjoyed Wegmans. And like I feel, I gave Grace this example, right? In the 1920s, right? When you bought like a Model T Ford, right? You buy the car. You could buy the chassis and have a coach builder put like a different body on it, but like you buy the car, right? Then in the 60s, we got muscle cars and sports cars, right? After a while, we started getting like crazy Ferraris and McLarens, and people were like, these are more than sports cars, right? These are supercars. And if you saw a supercar growing up, that was like a big deal. And then eventually like Koenigsegg came out and like Bugatti and like stuff that it's so crazy you can't even deem it a supercar. And so people had to come up with a new term for like a very select group of these cars. And so hypercar became a big term when we were young, right? Yeah. Wegmans is the hypercar of the grocery store community, and there has never been another one. I've never been in a grocery store that comes even fucking close to this. Like, it's a league of its own. Dude, I told Grace, I was like, I think the Wegmans of the grocery store industry is the kava bar that Sander and I would design for the kava bar industry. Like, that is the quality and attention to detail that I just love and appreciate. It's family owned and operated by the Wegman family still to this day. So they haven't sold out or anything. And I'm begging them to please bring one to Florida. I will take a trip. I have heard rumors because our broker is supposedly friends with one of the family members.
Okay.
And he said that he's heard rumors that they're opening one in Jacksonville. I will take a trip to Wegmans once a month to Jacksonville and get all my groceries for the month. Only shop there. I loved it so much. Incredible. I cannot sing Wegmans praises enough, right? So strong opening with the cemetery and Wegmans. We also went to a bagel place because apparently bagels down here suck.
Yeah.
And like you could only get real bagels up there. Grace has spoiled me because my bagels are like, you get them from Publix. Boo, Publix. Now I'm a fucking Publix hater. I'm not. But the pub sub still reigns supreme. But Grace has been taking me to like Brooklyn Water Bagel down here, which treats their water like up north. And we recently found a bagel place in Vieira called Long Island Bagel. And those bagels are really great. And so Grace took me to a place in New York and I was like, dude, honestly, this is comparable to the Long Island Bagel place in Brevard. And the Long Island Bagel place has like way better prices. So like, you've kind of spoiled me with finding perfect bagels down here. This is like, we can get this at home, which was kind of funny. So we went there. Then she took me to like a little downtown area where you like walk around shops or whatever. Really pretty, like beautiful weather. That night she took me to a seafood boil place. I don't really like seafood boils, but whatever. She was into it. And this is like her favorite seafood boil place to go to. Unfortunately, the waitress there was like super nice, didn't check on us at all. Like at the end, we were like waiting done with our food for like 20 minutes. And she came by and like, I was like, can we get the check? And she was like, sure. And she came back 10 minutes later. So I was like, okay. And I put my card in right away. I did not see her for another 20 minutes. And so like, I just walked up to the bar and cashed out.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So I took screenshots and pictures everywhere that we went to make my Google business reviews. And I wrote the reviews last night, or I started writing them last night. And I had to put in there like, hey, like I loved talking to our waitress. I just wish that she had come by more frequently.
Yeah.
But overall, the people up there were really nice. Grace's childhood home is, I think, maybe what I expected it to be. It's like a regular northern home. It's got a basement. It's two stories. It's like a
Yeah.
4-bedroom
Basements are
house.
weird, aren't they?
I didn't even go in the basement.
Oh, really? Oh,
No,
you didn't?
no,
Oh.
no, not really. I like,
Basements are odd. I think they would be odd for people who grew up in Florida because basements are like a
mhm.
very different vibe from like the rest of the house.
Yeah, I've been in
Yeah.
basements before. Like
Okay. Yeah.
my grandpa's farm in Canada. The farmhouse had a
Oh, yeah,
basement,
yeah, yeah.
but or cellar as they call it up there.
Yeah.
But most of the northern homes don't have attic space like we do down
Mhm.
here, I guess. So like people consider attic space to be like basements, but I
Yeah,
don't know.
I mean, it depends on the home.
Grace
Yeah.
also mentioned that they have a lot of storage unit places around here because no one has basements, and homes up north come with basements.
Yep,
So like
that's
instead
true.
you just get a storage unit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cute. I met her family dogs, and they had a bunny and they had a cat. Dude, the bed, we slept in one of her sister's bedrooms because she's away at college, right? I have never had a problem falling asleep outside of my own bed. I can sleep on the floor, I'll sleep on the train, I'll sleep on the roof if I have to, right? I've never had an issue. I traveled a lot for rowing growing up, slept in a bunch of hotel rooms, never had an issue. I slept fucking terribly in this bed. It was so uncomfortable. The pillows were terrible. Like it was too warm. Like it was just uncomfortable. And like Grace felt the same. And like we could not make it work. Like we could not get a good night's sleep. Both nights we stayed there was just
Yeah.
terrible. And I feel bad because like I'm very grateful that they let us stay there.
Yeah.
And I'm so like I don't know how else to say it other than like I slept terribly and like I did not enjoy my night's rest there.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm still grateful that they had us there. Grace's mom had mentioned earlier that like she she was at first she was like, yeah, I'll be home and like we'll spend time together months ago. And then Grace booked the flights. Then she was like, actually, I'm busy those days. I'm working. And so Grace was like, okay, well, we can still go to dinner or something. And then her mom was like, yeah, maybe not dinner, but like we can do like s'mores in the backyard. And Grace was like, okay. So we got there and like she didn't mention s'mores. Grace checked the pantry. There was no materials for s'mores. So like kind of a bummer because like
Yeah.
Grace like went out of her way to go like visit her and spend time with her,
Sure.
and her mom like wasn't really interested, which is sad to see. My mom is always really excited to see me, so like
Yeah.
I felt a little bad for Grace, but I also saw her high school where she went all her years of high school. It looked like a really nice high school, but she showed me like the different areas of where like she would go to class here or like gym there. They have like a big indoor pool. She showed me the hallway where she would eat lunch alone, so like a little sad. And like her mom was super controlling growing up, so she showed me the park within walking distance where she would spend her time. Like it was her
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
safe space away from her mom. And so it was nice to get a little bit of like lore,
Sure.
like
Yeah.
put a face to the name for places that Grace talks about. And so that was sweet to see.
Yeah.
Overall, I had a great time in Rochester, and that was the first like day and a half that we were there. And when we woke up on the third day, we drove to the Adirondacks. So now we're going north up along the St. Lawrence River to the Thousand Islands, which there's a Thousand Islands in Florida. There's a big mangrove forest out there that they call the Thousand Islands. This is way different. This is like a big, super wide river with like a fucking thousand islands in it, right?
Yeah.
But the drive there was really rural, which I wasn't expecting.
Hmm.
And when we got there, this is what the cabin looks like. I think I sent this photo to you guys actually.
Oh yeah.
But her grandfather owns this cabin, and he lets the family stay there like kind of whenever they want to.
Mhm.
This is a view from the boat of the cabin.
Oh, nice.
So like really pretty
Yeah.
plot. He found this in like the 1990s as a vacant lot. And he had someone come in and like lay the concrete and the I-beams, and then he built the rest of it himself,
Oh, cool.
which is really cool. He had a new roof put on recently, but like he built the whole thing in the mid 2000s. He built a whole addition. So like it started off as a cottage, like a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom kind of thing, but now it's got like 4 or 5 bedrooms and like 3.5 bathrooms. So like it's much larger now.
Yeah.
He's got like a separate little garage for the boats to keep in the winter. He's got a 4-wheeler in there right now. He has this nice boat, which I thought I had a picture of, but maybe I don't. Where is the boat? Did I not take a picture of the boat? I'm sure I did. It's like a. I guess I didn't take a picture of the boat. Whatever. You get the idea.
Yeah.
I thought I sent you photos. Whatever. He has a nice boat. And so that evening we kind of just hung out. She took me to Alexandria Bay, which is a pretty place in town. It's like the only town in the area, really. But it's all like waterfront, and it's got a bunch of like little shops and stuff that we walked around. And Grace had a lot of childhood nostalgia there, and so that was like fun to see. Right, we went grocery shopping, and then the next day we woke up. Her grandpa made us breakfast, and he was like, "Do you guys want to go see the castle today?" And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "That castle?" Because like if you look out, there's a castle like in the distance on one of the islands that you can see from his back porch. And he was like, "No, no, no, not that castle, the other castle." I was like, "How many fucking castles are out here?" And they were like, "Just two." And Grace was like, "Yeah, let's go. It'll be fun." And I was like, "Okay." Apparently, when you're in Alexandria Bay, there's a castle like right there that you can see, and you can take a ferry over to it, or you can take tour boats or whatever. Right?
Oh yeah.
We did not do that. We got on her grandpa's boat, and then we went down the river
Oh yeah.
and we just docked ourselves at the castle, which was a cool experience. I haven't been boating in a while, and like it felt like getting on a private jet and then going someplace
Yeah.
rather than getting on a commercial jet, which was cool. And we also got to ride down the river like a distance and like look at all the houses on the cliffs and the islands and stuff like that. So that was a lot of fun. When we got to the castle, I did not know what to expect because I've never been to a castle before, but I was like, fuck yeah, that sounds awesome, right? This place was fucking huge. This is like a quick look at
Oh wow,
like
that is
one
big.
corner of the
Wow.
castle.
You would love Lars Anderson Park.
I have no
You
idea
probably
what
haven't
that
heard
is.
of it. It's in Brookline. It's a castle. It's a mansion really. It was family owned. It was a really really nice property, but it was sold and then turned into a car museum.
Oh, dude, that's sick.
Yeah, it's in Brookline. It's like 15 minutes from my house up north.
Oh, cool, dude.
It's really cool. It's got like vibes like that. Big yard. They do
Yeah.
car shows there. You
Yeah.
know. Very cool. But yeah,
Yeah.
that reminded me of it.
Yeah, this is what the castle looks like.
Oh wow, in the water like
It's
that. That's
fucking
cool.
huge, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, dope. This is the powerhouse. So this is like an entire building where they
Okay.
generate power for the whole island.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool, castle, dope, love it. I'm all about it, right? And that was before I learned about like the history of the castle, which generally speaking, I kind of don't care about history. If I'm in a cool place, I'm just here for the vibes and like I don't care about the background, right? But Grace was like, there's like a documentary video that you should go see in the room upstairs. And I was like, all right. So we sat through it. And it's actually really interesting. The owner of the castle made his money in the 1900s when in the Great Gatsby time period, like the 1920s or something. What was that period called?
The golden era.
Yeah,
Was
the
it?
Gilded Age is what they referred to it
Whatever.
as. Yeah. It was the big everybody had a bunch of money, right? This guy he worked as like a waiter in like a restaurant or something. But he had like a bunch of wealthy friends. And so he opened this like famous hotel. I forget what it's called, but I recognize the name of it. He got like investors from his friends and he opened up the Bellevue Stratford Hotel.
Oh yeah.
And that did really well. And then the owners of the Waldorf Astoria Hotel, which I recognize the name of, the Waldorf Hotel, right? They came to him and they were like, hey, we want to build this hotel and you did so good with the Bellevue, we want you to run it. And so he was like, okay. And so they open up the Waldorf Astoria Hotel and like he does a great job. He makes a shitload of money. He makes a shitload of rich friends. Life is good. And he is like basically a billionaire of his time, right? He had like $20 million, which today is like 500 million. And so he and his wife took a trip to the Thousand Islands and they loved it so much. He was like, I'm gonna buy an island. So he bought an island. It was originally called Hart Island because it was owned by a guy named Hart, H-A-R-T. And then he renamed it to H-E-A-R-T Island. He had the island reshaped to look more like the anatomy of a heart. And he decided to build a castle on there and then gift the castle to his wife. And so it's all love themed. So there's like hearts everywhere in the like wrought iron and the bushes and whatever.
Oh, cool.
And so he started building this castle and he was like, spare no expense, like go crazy, like, you know, dump a ton of money into it, right? And what's interesting to me is that he didn't own the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. Like they just commissioned him to like run it. And he is the guy who coined the phrase, the customer's always right. And like treat your customers with respect, treat your employees with respect, and like try to make them like the 37 magical moments
Sure, yeah.
from Hormozy, right? Which is really cool. And I have a lot of respect for that. And also, when we were walking around the cabin, or I'm sorry, the castle, there was like a servants' dining room, and there was a plaque in there that said like all the servants for this guy. His name something Bolt, George Bolt. All the servants got 3 meals a day as part of their living wages, and so like they got their own dining room and could eat there. So like he treated his servants like humans, which was cool to see. But like a beautiful castle. His wife wound up dying before the castle was finished.
Really?
And so he stopped work on the castle and he never returned. And so it was left state of disrepair. People would take boats there and like vandalize it and shit.
Oh, yeah.
And so like half of the castle got like destroyed. It wasn't even finished to begin with, right? But at some point, there's like a historian club in the Thousand Islands that wound up taking ownership of it, right? So like Bolt had it. Eventually, he died, and his estate sold it to the guy who started the Lifesavers Company. And then the Lifesavers guy started giving tours of the like vandalized castle. And then eventually, the Historical Society bought it from him, and they started to restore it to the exact specification of the blueprints from the early 1900s.
Oh.
And so they got like specialty stonemasons and like specialty like plaster workers and shit. And like every year they restore one of the rooms of the castle to original spec. And they're trying to get it to the point of being completed to Bolt's original vision. And they're making great progress. They were like, it was all fucked. And then in like 2012, they fixed the great dining room. And in 2015, they fixed his bedroom or whatever, right? And like they all look period accurate and beautiful. But this place was really cool. I really enjoyed my time there. This is like one of the castles he had made for his kids. There's like a bowling alley in there. Like they have old ass like bowling pins and like bowling balls and stuff. Really cool. There's also like across the river, there's a huge yacht house where you like park your boats in the winter. And that's now a museum too, with like all his cool old boats. And so like
neat.
Grace's grandpa is like a big old boat guy. And so he got us tickets to go to that museum, but we wound up not having time for it. But this castle was really cool. This is number 2 on my favorite places that we went to. And like, I wish that I could have spent more time there. I'm glad that we didn't, because we went and did other things, but like, super cool. After that, we went and we got pizza at a pizza place Grace liked. Authentic New York slice, right? I still think Bizarro's Beachside is the best pizza I've ever had, but it was still good to go. We went to a city called Clayton, which is down the river. It's kind of like a more uppity area on the river.
Sure.
Grace got new jewelry there, and it was nice. We went to this like cute little like dinner place. There's like ivory on the wall. That was the seating area. We got like poutine. Because it's like right on the Canadian border, so like very poutine area, right? And then we went back and we did a fire next to the cabin.
Cool.
But like, those are the sunsets there, like
Very
gorgeous
pretty.
sunsets, very pretty, very still. We got rained on a little bit, but like, that was the sunset view that night.
Oh, wow.
From the cabin.
That is pretty.
Yeah, gorgeous area. And then on our last day, we went on a little hike around the Thousand Islands, so like more of the same scenery, basically. And went to a little island. On that island, actually, we parked and we walked across a bridge to the island. And as we were walking up, Grace was like, a horse. And I was like, what? She was like, a horse. And I was like, I don't see a horse. And she was like, look, way back there. And like way back in the woods, I saw a horse going like fucking crazy, like kicking its hooves and like,
Oh, really?
like going nuts. And I was like, what? Like maybe let's not go up there. And she was like, yeah, let's walk around. And I was like, okay. So like we start walking around and I see there's like an old like horse-drawn buggy with no horse. And I'm like, okay, that horse probably goes to that buggy. And the buggy's towing a kayak. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And Grace was like, there's a lot of Amish in this area. And I was like, what the fuck are they doing with a kayak? Like, they can't be allowed to have plastic kayaks, right? Like, surely that's in violation. Interestingly, tangent, Grace, we were having dinner with Grace's grandpa in the cabin. And Grace was like, oh, I meant to ask you, what kind of wood did you use to build the cabin? Because when we went grocery shopping, or I'm sorry, when we went shopping for the wood for my lattice plant wall, Grace recognized the smell. And it's because it was made of white oak, and that is the same wood that he used for like all the flooring and stuff in the place, right? And there's like plastic siding on the side of the house, like the corrugated like paneling look, the what's it called, shiplap look, is all like plastic. And Grace at the time had mentioned like, oh, I bet he hired the Amish to do that for him. And I was like, what? I just like blew past it at the moment. And then when I saw the buggy and the horse, I was like, holy shit, they are everywhere up here, aren't they? And so like we walked around the island, it was pretty, and like the horse was going nuts. And so eventually we like walked a little closer to the horse, and I realized it was tied to a tree, so like it wasn't like gonna kill anybody. But it was tied up like way back in a thicket, and there were like bugs all over it, and it was being like, you know, irritated by the bugs.
Mhm.
And so I kind of felt bad for him. But at first I was like, is this dangerous? Like, I don't know what I've never seen like a wild horse like hanging out there, right? Um, but that was fun. That was pretty much the end of the cabin trip. After that, we drove back to Syracuse and we ate dinner there before flying home. But it was a good trip. I had
Nice.
a lot more fun than I think I was expecting to have. I went in with open expectations, but I'm not really big on travel. So I was kind of like, yeah, whatever. Like I'll go have a good time, and
Sure.
that'll be the end of it. But I had a really good time, and it was pretty cheap. I think all said and done. We didn't have to pay for any hotels or anything, so we just paid
That's
for
good.
like the plane tickets, the rental car, gas, and then food.
Mhm.
And I'm sure food totaled up to be more than what a grocery bill would normally be. But like if we had to pay for hotels that whole time, it would have been really expensive.
Right.
So kind of nice. Um, Grace said that her grandpa owned like an insurance company or something.
Mm.
And like that's how he made his money. This is like a $1 million cabin now, if
Yeah.
not more than that. And he has like a house in Arizona and like another one in Florida, another one in New York. Like he's got a bunch of shit. Um, but what's funny is that he doesn't have like sports cars or anything because he's like a wilderness guy. He's like an outdoorsman. So
Yeah.
like he got a new boat. There's another fishing boat on that same property.
Okay.
It's like a second boat. Um, but he's not like a flashy like rich guy. He's like a enjoy the wilderness, like really
Sure.
kind-hearted rich guy. He donates to the land trust out there. They like protect the Thousand Islands and whatever. That he was like a really pleasant guy, super super nice, super
Yeah.
kind. Not what you would expect from like an insurance company guy, right? But
Yeah.
I think that he probably represents the best side of the insurance industry, where it's like someone who genuinely cares about their clients and like
Sure.
wants to help them, which was good to see. I didn't really talk to him about business so much because it was like a family trip, but like I would be interested in talking to him more about it because you know he turned 85. We were there for his birthday, and if he turned 85 this year, which means he was born in 1941. And so when he was our age, so when
Mhm.
he was 25, it was 1966.
Oh, wow.
So when he was our age, we had not been to the moon yet. We had not had the Vietnam War. We had not had the Cold
Yeah.
War. The B-2 Spirit had never flown. Like so much life has happened since then. It gave me a lot of perspective into like how much time we have left if we get that old,
Yeah.
right? Because like 1966 is like ancient history for us,
Yeah.
right? And he was our age at that time.
Huh.
And he's still like, dude, he's still kicking. Like you would think for 85 that you're starting to like wear down a little bit. Dude, he was up at like 5 a.m., up before us. We slept way better up there. The bed was way nicer, but he was like up way early. He had breakfast done by the time we woke up, immediately got on the boat and like took us out. He walked all around that castle with us, took us back, and then we went and did our own thing. And we came back and we were like, what have you been up to? And he was like, oh, we went and like walked around, whatever. Like he's a mover and a shaker. Like he's
Mhm.
staying active at 85, which is really great to
Yeah.
see. So I'm glad that I got to meet him. Great. It's funny because like this year, Grace was like, "Grandpa's getting old. We don't know how many more years we have with him. I would like to go up north this year. It's the last year that her mom is in Rochester, so it's the last year we can stay up there for free because her mom's going to retire to somewhere
Sure.
in Tennessee." Um, and so I was like, "Okay, sure, we'll go. Like your grandpa's getting old. I get it, dude. I would not be surprised if that guy's got like another 20 years left. Like he's in great shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, a nice guy. I'm glad I got to meet him, and I hope that I get to meet him again. He was a nice guy.
Cool.
So overall, the trip was good. The roads up there, the speed limit was so much higher than I was anticipating.
Yeah,
Like
it is.
multiple times. The state speed limit in New York is like 55. So like if
Mhm.
there's no posted speed limit, you can kind of go 55, right? But like most of the roads I would turn onto and be like, my gut tells me that the speed limit should be like 35 here. And Google's telling me it's 55. And Grace is like, it's 55 here. I know this road. And I was like, all right, let's go for it. But like
Yeah.
lots of ups and downs. Not as many like twisty turns as I would have liked, but it's upstate New York. It's not like, mountainous, like super mountainous, right? It was more like foothills and like low level mountains.
Sure.
Um, so not anything like the roads that you got to drive in Tennessee, I'm
Mhm.
sure. But still fun to drive.
Yeah, no, it's
Uh,
still very pretty up there.
yeah, absolutely. It's a different kind of pretty. And Grace also told me, she was like, it's only pretty for like genuinely like 3 or 4 months out of the year. Like it's too cold to go up there in like June. And I was like, fucking hell. So like he doesn't go into the cabin in the winter. He just like turns everything off and leaves it. And I was like, when does he shut it down? And Grace was like, usually early September. And I was like, when does he open it again? She was like, in May. I was like, holy fuck. So he owns $1 million cabin and a boat that he keeps in dry storage throughout the year, and a second boat that he keeps in dry storage throughout the year. And he uses it half of May, June, July, August. So 4 months out of the year. And Grace was like, yeah. And I was like, that is fucking nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good trip. I
Cool.
would be interested in going back sometime and spending more time at the castle and like
Mhm.
hiking and stuff like that. But yeah, it was cool. It was a good trip. So that was most of my week. I got back at like fucking 3 a.m. Saturday morning ish.
Okay.
So like I had yesterday to like do groceries and like get my head
Sure.
out of my ass. Do a little bit of meal prep and like start to get my shit sorted. But like that's my life update.
Very nice. Yeah. Glad you had fun.
Yeah, me too.
Glad you had
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
It's funny. I came back and my dad and I were talking about it because my dad just took a vacation. And he was like, yeah, it was nice. I took 2 weeks off. And like the whole first week, I just couldn't get myself out of work mode. And like the second week, I was able to relax. And I was like, oh, I'm persistently thinking about work. Like I know I have shit due on Tuesday. And like Tuesday's not that far away. So like, I'm thinking about that. Like I still have the clients in the back of my head. I know my ads are running in the back of my head. Like I have to think about like I got new business cards in. Like there's other stuff that I have to do. And like I never got all the way out of work mode. I wrote a CMA while I was up there. Like I just stayed up late one night. And so my dad was like, yeah, you should try to take like longer breaks, like a 2 week break, which I don't think I'll do. But I digress. I had fun. So what is your business update this week?
Yeah, so for business this week, AC is still not done at the shop. I need to remind Mike. I just haven't reminded him about that.
Gotcha.
It's already paid in full, so eyes on the hook to come out.
Yeah.
But for the green car, I did some digging into how I'm going to repair it and address that car. Kind of mentioned that last week on the podcast that I have a little bit of a better picture by this podcast, and I do. What I'm going to end up doing is going through and either buying metal, like parts that have been remanufactured for certain
Okay.
body panels or whatever, and I'm going to address it on a part by part basis.
Okay.
I'm not going to dig into stuff that looks good that could be replaced. So
Okay.
I'm going to go through and just do stuff that needs to be replaced.
Got it.
Part of that has come from one thing I did this week was cut up the right rear suspension console some, not fully,
Okay.
but I started cutting into it with a saw. It's pretty fun.
Like a handsaw?
Like a side angle saw, like an angle
Okay,
grinder
got
with a
it.
saw blade on it.
Got
just
it.
friggin'
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. Be
It's
so
fun.
careful with that.
It was fun, yeah.
Okay, good.
So I started cutting into that, and I thought that it was gonna be a lot worse on the inside, and it ended up really not being. There were certain parts that were really bad, which I expected, but in the areas that I thought would also be bad, it really wasn't. And so I'm just gotten kind of clever with where I'm going to repair and replace stuff, and kind of going about it that way. I'm gonna try to make the repairs quality, but not go after stuff that looks good. So that's kind of what I've decided on that repair front. And then for the undercoating that's there, I'm going to try and see if I can either dry ice blast that away and kind of break it away, or just sandblast it.
Okay.
I did consider dipping the car, but the more I started reading about that, the more people actually had bad experiences with dipping those cars.
What happened?
Because of the layers of metal in the longitudinals, which are the bottom support frame structures that go underneath both doors on the sides, they're a multi-layered boxed-in frame with small drains, and the actual dip solution will sit in there for like months. And so you'll go to like clean the car and think you got everything out and all that stuff, and then like 6 months later, your paint on the bottom will start to bubble and crack up, and you're like, "What the fuck's going on?" It's because of that. It takes a very long time for it to all get out of there.
Got it.
And it can cause more problems than it's worth.
Right.
And so kind of what I've resorted to out of looking at the car, looking down some of the longitudinals, I have access holes and stuff like that. I've decided that I'm just going to repair what's bad, and do it right, but just go about it that way, and not dip the car or anything like that, just because of the problems that people have faced.
I also can't imagine it's cheap.
It's about $3,700 when I quoted it out.
Yeah.
So it's not terribly cheap. I think I can do a equally good job repairing what's bad and then sandblasting the car, which would be a fraction of the cost.
Yeah. And you're probably going to want to repaint most of it anyways. So
I think I'm going to kind of leave it as a
big
beater.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I want I think Mike has successfully talked me into the fast beater approach on that car. He's successfully
That's what I
talked me
drive every day.
into
That's
boosted Type 4 VW engine, make it around.
type 4.
Yeah, VW. So that it's a Volkswagen engine.
Okay.
It's a Type 4. That's like the model.
4-cylinder?
Yeah, but
Okay,
but they had like a Type 1, etc.
Okay.
This one's Type 4. It's like the iteration of
Got
the
it.
4-cylinder.
Okay.
But he's talked me into building a Type 4 engine and throwing boost at it and making like 250, 300 horsepower out of it. So he's talked me into that, like a fast beater that's like kind of gutted and a little bit rough.
Yeah.
So I think he's successfully talked me into that approach.
That is the Miata that I wanted for a while.
Yeah.
It's like a fucking piss missile. Like,
Yeah.
you know Dave's Miata, Dave's Drift Miata?
Mhm.
Something like that
Yeah.
has like stupid horsepower from a 4-cylinder. He case swapped his and has like a fucking 50 mil turbo on it or something.
Yeah.
So like it's got way too much power, and like
Yeah.
that is something that I would be interested in.
I think it would be cool on
Lightweight.
like a 50-plus-year-old Porsche.
Yeah.
Piss missile. Like you
I
don't
love-
see that. You know what I mean? Like you see like JDM stuff like that all the time, but you don't really see like beater fast Porsches.
No, yeah.
That'd be
Well, and you
sick.
never see them driven, even if they exist.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think Mike has successfully talked me into that approach. He says that he has a buddy with a rotisserie that could be modified to fit the 914, and Steve also says he has a rotisserie that could be fitted to modified to fit the 914.
Okay.
So got some promises in that respect. I haven't torn the car down at all because I have the BMW disabled in the bay right now. I'm doing
That's
the
right.
blower motor on that. To do the blower motor, you have to pull the entire dash out, like the entire dash. The lower dash comes out, the radio comes out, the gauge cluster comes out, the upper dash comes out, and then more stuff beyond that comes out. I sent you that photo. It's like the reason it's disabled is because I literally have like a multitude of things unplugged, some of them essential.
It's a 2006?
It's a E39 chassis. If you look up like E39 chassis blower motor replacement and then go to images,
No, I'm looking up 2006. Three. What's the
530.
530i?
Yeah.
I just want to see what they sell for in like decent condition.
Oh, less than what I bought mine for. Yeah. No, it's a loss. But
How many miles?
164.
Okay.
But I actually
Yeah.
have someone at work who's interested in the car. Which is part of the reason I'm doing this blower motor is I told him I'd do the blower motor before I showed him the car.
It's a good idea.
So that's just what I'm waiting on. The cover for the blower motor actually also broke when the fans broke because the fan fins came apart and it shredded part of the cover. Or it cracked it.
Yeah.
But it didn't crack it all the way through. What I'm going to end up doing, because it's relatively braced once it's fixed into places, I'm just going to tape it.
Okay.
The reason being is that I cannot find any used on eBay because it's a very hard part to part out because you have to take the whole dash apart to get to it.
Got it.
And so a lot of people don't really go that far when they part stuff out, right? And then the second reason that I'm not doing it is you can buy a new one. It's 4 to 6 weeks out of Germany just to get into the US, and then an additional portion of time to get to me. So my time duration quote from FCP Euro was middle of October for me to get it.
That's insane, dude.
Yeah. So I decided to just repair the one that I have currently and call it a day.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I did order some backlight bulbs for the dashboard. Some of them are out. And so I'm going to do those while I'm in there.
Gotcha.
And make that look nice. And they're really cheap. It cost me like $15 and I can do all 5.
So did you talk to your coworker about price?
Nope. I told him I want
Got it.
$4,000 for it.
And he was receptive?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
I mean, it's got some
That's fine.
issues. You know, it's not a perfect car, but it's also a $4,000 E39.
Well, the ones I'm looking at here, like with more than 150K, are selling for like 6 to 8 in like clean condition. As like the 8 is a manual M, and then the non-manual is or I'm sorry, the automatic is like kind of bone stock, but the paint's in better condition. That's sold for 6. So like I think 4 is probably fair with the lights and stuff. So like I think if he's
want 4 out
over
of the
that,
car.
that's good. Yeah.
So I think that's a fair price.
Cool.
So that is what I'm working on. I got to organize the invoices and service records as well.
Yeah.
So that's going to be part of the process for getting that card sold too. In addition to that, I did take photos of a bunch of parts for eBay listings. I have a few of those in draft mode right now. I'm going to the shop to pick up some boxes to see what I can fit into what, so that I can get proper shipping quotes on eBay before I post. But that stuff is in the works right now. I already have a couple posts done, almost ready to go.
I have spare Amazon boxes in my apartment if you want them.
Oh, maybe.
They're like this big.
Yeah, that might be actually really good.
If you want them, yeah, they're good.
Yeah. I'll let you know. It depends on the
Sure.
depth. So
They're like that, but
yeah, that actually might be perfect.
yeah, sure,
So I might message you
sure.
if I can't find anything. But that is currently in work. I'm going to be also listing larger items on Facebook Marketplace,
Mhm.
like exhaust and stuff like that. That's not stuff that I particularly want to ship.
Sure.
If I can help it. So I'm going to be listing those on Facebook Marketplace first,
Mhm.
see if I get any bites. And then if I don't, I'll actually go out and package them and list them on eBay properly
Mhm.
and hopefully sell them there. So
You know, I've been thinking if you can't sell them there, like if you just like don't get any bites or whatever, right? Or like you don't want to deal with like shipping a big exhaust thing, even if you charge someone for shipping, you're like taking not all the parts, but like going to events. Like we met that guy at the Rolex who had the suspension mounts, right?
yeah.
You could be that guy for someone else.
Mhm.
And like not necessarily like have all your shit like set up a stall there, right? But just like if you have like a cardboard sign that you bring with you where you're like, I've got clean 914 parts, like I'm sure that people will come up and talk to you and like, if you've got an inventory online, like your website or eBay or
Sure.
whatever,
Yeah.
and like you could be like, hey, like we're at Sebring now, like I can bring this part to you tomorrow if you can meet me tomorrow afternoon or whatever, right? Like you could probably sell it that way.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
Yeah, no, 100%. There is actually a VW meet in November. And Mike really wants to get one of our cars ready to go to it. So
So
it's probably not
probably
914.6. It's probably not the 914.6 because I think he just wants to get that out of his life.
oh, got
Um,
it. I see what you're saying.
yeah, so he's like, let's try to get the green car ready. And we can take that over. The other alternatives are
Probably get the
he has
orange
a
car running
Volkswagen
for
Bug
it.
race car,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
which would be an absolute hoot.
Yeah.
So it's called Bugfest, I think. It's in November.
Oh,
It's on the
okay.
West Coast.
Gotcha.
The other alternatives, he's got two VW based uh, dirt race buggy cars
Okay.
that both are like relatively close to like running and driving, but just need a little bit of TLC. And
Would
so
you drive them over or trailer
I
them?
think he'd trailer them over and then drop them off at Bugfest and
So
do
you
that.
yeah.
So we got a couple things. All of Mike's projects and my projects are just turning into our projects.
Yeah.
Like slowly, it's just merging.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we collectively just now have a bunch of non-running Volkswagen projects.
Yeah.
And so it's fun though, I work on the 914.6 and then he comes
Yeah.
over and tells me I'm going too far with the green car and just fix the shit and get it on the road. And I'm like, all right. And then I go over to his 914.6 and he's just like, slap it together. And I'm like, no, I'm going to redo the connectors. And then while he's at dinner, I'll redo all the connectors. And then I'm like, he comes back and all the connectors are redone or whatever.
Yeah.
So it works out. It's all good and fun.
That's how it was with Shaw and I. Is I was like, let's do like a really nice, like well put together, well composed, like specialty build.
Yeah.
And he was like, there's a 1980 Cressida wagon in like fucking Daytona that I have to go look at today. And I'm like, okay. So like we go to the bank and like we get money out and then we end up buying the car. Dude,
Yeah.
the Fiat was just like a Facebook Marketplace listing. The dude was like, I have to get this sold today, like, $400 for a running vehicle. And so we were like, let's go get it. Like no
Yeah.
registration, no plates, salvage title. And we just like grabbed it.
Yeah.
But like he had a really great way of like distracting us from the current project for like the next project. And so like at one point we had like 6 or 7 cars between the two of us at a given time. I had the Firebird and the Camaro at one point. So I had like the Firebird and the Camaro. He had a 2016 Camaro, the 1980 Cressida, the 1999 LC or SC300. We had the Fiat, and then the truck. So we had 7 cars between the two of us, and a boat. We had like a small boat that we had bought.
Bunch
So
of
like
stuff.
too much stuff, and like nothing ran. And like
Yeah.
we had the same thought where we sat down, we were like, we have to have more than half our cars have to be running. Like at any given time, we have to be able to like drive more than half of our cars. And like we never got there. It was just never fucking happened.
Yeah, but the 914.6 is close.
Uh-huh.
So I think that'll actually be finished up in the next couple weeks.
He's just gonna sell it right away, like the
I
BMW.
think so. You probably drive it around a little bit, make sure it works, and then list it. So I think I'm gonna try and get my green car on a rotisserie by the time that needs to be listed, so we can take pictures on the lift. That'd be the
Yeah,
goal.
that's
It's
a good
kind of
idea.
timeline goal.
Yeah.
But additionally, I did pull out the remainder of the Hot Wheels I had. I pulled out like 10 that I really, really like that I want to keep. And then I took pictures of the rest. I sent them over to the guy that I know who buys in bulk. I sent him that over. I did similar pricing to what I did on my initial sheet
Mhm.
for when I did pricing for him, and it came out to be $1,250 for everything.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that he goes for that. My bottom dollar would be 1,100 on it,
Mhm.
and I'd throw in the 20 plastic display cases that I have with that just to get
Gotcha.
stuff moved.
Got it.
So that's kind of my bottom dollar on it. Just because like it, if I were to sell a portion of it in bulk, plus list out there's about a dozen and a half really pricey items
Mhm.
in there. If I were to list those individually, I could probably be closer to like the 1,600 mark.
Mhm.
But just to like get it done quick, get cash back in my pocket.
It's a lot of effort.
Yeah, it's a significant amount of effort and then listing and all that stuff. So I'm kind of 1,100 on my bottom dollar
Yeah.
on that. But I did that this week, made that whole Excel spreadsheet, sent that over to him. He's going to be meeting up with me early this week, maybe Monday, tomorrow or Tuesday.
Cool.
But that's actually all I got for business this week.
Cool.
Yeah, just a bunch of kind of stuff. Well, part of the reason that I'm going through the selling thing was in my quad prompts, which I mentioned last week. The main thing was like, get rid of the storage unit and start selling the shit you don't need, get some cash back flowing.
Right.
And so that's how I'm approaching this, tackling it from the BMW end of things, the eBay end of things, the Facebook Marketplace end of things, and Hot Wheels sales. So
Yeah.
those 4 items are kind of like my big hitters for starting to get that ball rolling.
And that'll give you enough money to get a truck.
Yes, or just give me more money.
You can buy a non-running truck and then complete like the infinity gauntlet of like non-running vehicles, and then you
don't
can
want
get it
to.
running.
I don't want to.
Do you remember Zach Judge? Brake
Yeah.
caliper Zach?
Yeah.
He called me the other day while I was on vacation, and I was like, "Hey, what's up? I'm on vacation." And he was like, "I have a plan." And I was like, "What the fuck?" And he was like, "So I'm coming back to Florida for more school, but I have a job at the Melbourne airport, and like I really want to get enough money for a jet ski." And I was like, "Buddy." And he was like, "But like not just a jet ski, because I also want a boat and a truck to trailer them both." And I was like, "Pal." His Jeep blew up in North Carolina, by the
Sure.
way. And so he was like, "I also know that like my buddy said he can fix my Jeep for free, like no labor if I pay for parts. It's like $3,000 of parts, but they want to put like a boosted V8 in it." And I was like, "Pal, fucking shut up. Stop talking to me. Just knock it up." And I was like, get your head together." And he was like, okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna buy a truck. I'm gonna start off with a truck. My parents are gonna help me buy it. And so I'm looking at like they're gonna give him like 30 grand. They're gonna
Okay.
sell their car and then they're gonna give him 30 grand. And so he's like, I could probably afford like a 10K loan. So I could buy like a $40,000 truck and then pay off the 10K loan and afford that no problem.
Sure.
And I was like, that's a good plan. And so he's been looking at trucks and he's been sending me stuff, like just asking my opinion on it and whatever. And I was like, dude, like I don't know anything about trucks. Like I cannot help you. But he's been sending me Silverados, Chevys,
Okay.
like newer ones. There's a 6.2 liter V8 option that he likes. And I was like, why this truck? Like just for my knowledge. Cause like when I think of truck, I automatically go to like the V8 Tundras and that's it. Cause like I want reliable and I want like a V8.
Mm.
That's basically the Tundra. That's it. Tacoma's never had a V8.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, well, I will not get a Dodge Ram. And so I also want a V8 and that basically leaves only Chevy." And I was like, "All right, well, that's a good point. Why not Dodge?" And he didn't really have a reason other than like he just doesn't want one. And I was like, "Okay, that's whatever, man. Like
Yeah.
go for it." But he is also looking at trucks right now. So like I have been learning a little bit more about trucks in the time that he's been
Nice.
looking at them. But yeah, I think that whatever truck you end up getting, I think will be fun whenever it ends up
Yeah,
happening.
probably.
Yeah.
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 I want some more cash in my pocket first.
Yeah, I get that. I understand that.
I've been like my peak was like $4,000 in my bank account. And that's been like the peak over the last ever.
Ever?
And I'm like kind of over it.
I understand that. Well, you also
I'm
have
like kind of done. It's fun to like throw money at stuff. It's also nice to like not wonder how to balance rent and credit card bill and
Yeah.
groceries. Like I'm over it.
Yeah. You know what I do to feel better about myself is I remember to myself that if shit hits the fan, I can file for hardship and use my 401k money. And so like that's an extra 10 grand that's sitting
Somewhere.
out of reach that I can
Right.
use. But I understand that.
Yeah.
It was like, was it February that I was like, was it February this year or last year? One of these years in February, I had like, after paying rent, I had like $18 left.
Oh yeah.
It was like real tight. So like I get that. It
Yeah.
sucks. It's
I'm just kind
now,
of done. Like, I just
yeah.
want some. I want like 10-ish grand
Hmm.
floating in the bank account that like I don't need for anything.
Yep.
It just like
Emergency
exists.
fund. Yeah.
Just exists.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm just like, just sell this shit, get it out of
Hmm.
my fucking life. I'm over it.
Hmm.
Like, I want this stuff to go away. Someone else give me some portion of money for it, and then
Hmm.
I'll fucking add it up at the end.
That's how
You
I
know?
treat my Vanguard account.
Yeah.
Is I have like my launch like checkings and savings, which I basically treat as the same account. I just keep some stuff in savings because I have like my auto deposit.
Sure.
Like the money gets put in savings and then my bills are auto pay through savings. And so like I just keep checking for like groceries and shit. Actually,
Yeah.
that's not true. I pay credit for groceries because I get 6% back. But like checking is like gas and stuff. That's not true. I use the Amex for gas too. I just have it for fucking fun money, right? I keep like $1,000 in there at any given time.
Sure.
But I treat my Vanguard account as like don't touch it, like leave it alone. That's your rainy day fund. So I have like my checking and savings where it's like if I need money quick, and then I have my rainy day fund that I never touch in Vanguard, and then I have my 401k for like not rainy day, but like if it's raining and storming and I'm upside down in my car in a ditch, like I'm super fucked money.
Yeah.
And the 401k has never really changed. The Vanguard has never really changed. But like the savings and checkings account has gotten like really low at times, and that's always been stressful. Um, but I've always had like the 401k to lean on, like if like worse came to worse.
Yeah.
But I get it. You don't want to have to lean on that, and it's it's
Right.
just it's more comfortable if you have like 6 months of savings in your account, or like if you lose your job or if you get in a car accident or like something happens, then like you don't have to stress too hard because you know that you've got expenses paid for. That's why I hide cash, is because like I look
Yeah.
at my bank accounts and I'm like, okay, I have X amount of money. But then I also know that somewhere hidden in Brevard is cash in little fucking storage things I have hidden.
Yeah.
And so like if shit really gets bad, then like I have like a month of rent in there somewhere.
Right. Right.
So yeah,
That
I
makes sense.
understand that. I understand that.
But that being said, what do you have for business this week?
So this week is obviously limited because I was out of town, but I still have a couple updates. So last week I left off on our client has no idea what's going on and we had to back out of the contract for the condo, right? Bummer. On Monday, we had to leave for the airport at like 2, and Grace went to a meeting with our client and the home builder at 1. So like snuck in a meeting at the last second where we connected our client and the builder, and we were like, "Hey, how much will it cost once we have the land? How much will it cost to build? What does that pricing structure look like? What will the monthly be if I finance? What will the draw look like if I pay over the course of the build?" And got him set up with that kind of stuff. I still do not trust that he actually knows what he can afford. And so I'm strongly recommending to Grace that we hook him up with our lender, who will look at if you need to finance, can you finance? Because you can finance through the builder, but like maybe you want to finance with a lender and then you can go get a condo or townhome or house
Sure.
or builder. And then I am also recommending that we hook him up with a financial advisor, because what a lender will do is they'll look at your credit and they'll look at your assets and they'll tell you how much you can borrow. They're not going to tell you if you should borrow that or not. And so like what I want a financial advisor to do, because like he's retired. Once you're retired, you have no more income. You just have like the residuals off your investments. And like every year that gets smaller because you're pulling out money and that's decreasing the total sum amount that's building interest.
Yeah.
So um I'm highly recommending that he talk to financial advisors, that they can tell him what is responsible to spend and what is not. And I'm refusing to look at a home or piece of land or anything until he does that, because I don't want to waste my time looking at shit that we're not going to buy. And that's not from like a vain standpoint of like I'm not doing it if I'm not getting paid, but like I cannot spend my time on shit if I'm
No,
not
it's
getting paid.
stupid.
It's at the end of the day, this is a business, right? And so like if we're not serious buyers, then like we shouldn't be looking.
Right.
So Grace told me that the conversation went well with the builder last week. I have not heard any updates since then. So this week, getting back into the swing of things, I'm going to ask Grace to put him in touch with our lender and financial advisor. The financial advisor who I worked with knows his shit, and so I would recommend he work with him. We'll see what Grace says. Grace has her own opinions on it, so like we'll see. But that's where we are with that client. I have 2 vacant land deals right now, potentially. One of them is from a Google local service ad. This guy, he like lives in Italy and he owns a plot of land in Palm Bay. And he was like, I want to sell the plot. And I was like, cool. like, what's your email? And he didn't give it to me. He gave me the property parcel ID. And so like I ran a CMA for him and I was like, what's your email for me to send the CMA to? And he never replied. So like this week I'm going to follow up with him and be like, hey, are you serious about selling? Another real estate agent friend of mine reached out to me and he was like, hey, a friend of mine has a friend who owns property in Palm Bay and wants to sell. And I was like, is it this guy from Italy? And he was like, no, it's someone else. And I was like, okay, what's up? And he was like, he wants to sell his property. But I don't want to deal with the listing right now because I have other shit going on. Will you do it with me? And like, I'll just give you most of the money. And I was like, sure. And so he dropped me in a group chat with this guy and the guy was like, here's the property address. I want to get at least 90,000 for it. And so I pulled up the property address. Dude's not getting 90,000 for it. And I told my real estate buddy, the guy I'm working the deal with, and I was like, pal, like I did the CMA while we were on our vacation and like the recommended sale price, not list price, but like the price that you're actually going to get is like 35. And
Oh,
so I was like, we're a ways off in 90. And my real estate buddy was like, yeah, that's a far ways away. Usually people think that there's what they have is worth more than it is. You set up a listing appointment where you can talk to them in person. In person, you kind of ease them into recognizing that they're like, your $500,000 home is actually worth 450, right?
yeah.
And then you walk through the CMA and you kind of walk them down. But this is a special instance where he thinks his home is or his land is worth 3 times as much, which is a big, big, big gap. So he had proposed to meet in person today for a listing appointment, and my real estate friend was like, hey, normally I didn't do this, but just to be upfront with you, we're going to send you the CMA. Like, with homes, it can be kind of like, subjective because like I know roughly what a sliding glass door is worth over a standard French door, but you might not. And so we can have a conversation about what we think that's worth. And like, it can kind of go back and forth. But with land, it's all in the same neighborhood. We have 6 comp properties, so 6 comparable properties of a similar size in the same neighborhood that have sold this year so far. So like very accurate information. I made a small price adjustment because this one is like whatever. Like I'll say for an example, like 5.1 acres, and these are like, or I'm sorry, 5.51 acres, and these are like 0.48 or 0.49, right? So I made small price adjustments, but it really is very comparable. And so we haven't heard back from him. He had proposed meeting up today. I guess they did not meet today. So like that sale might not happen because it is not worth that much. But that's that. My Facebook ads are running at $10 a day. Now that I'm back, I'm going to up it. I don't know what I'm going to up it to yet. But I haven't looked at the data or anything yet since I've gotten back. I did get a form filled out yesterday from a guy who lives in Titusville, who's 55, which I'm hoping is not the senile old folks that responded to my previous Facebook ads like a year ago. I haven't called him yet. I've just been too busy. And I also am not getting notifications when I get new leads. Previously, I would get notifications via email and on the app, and I have not this time. Both with Zach's form from last week and with this guy's form yesterday. And I want to reply to potential clients like as fast as possible. So
Yeah.
I need to figure that out. So I'm going to up the spend on the ads this week. I don't know what to yet. We'll figure it out. And then lastly, I ordered new business cards. I did the design last week. I think I showed you the new design. The card came in. It's like 90% of the way there.
Okay.
The text is like a little blurrier than I want it to be. And I have a reference card to like base it off of. The text is a little blurrier and the blue stripe on the side is not as vibrant as I want it to be. And it's not as vibrant as I know it can be because of this other card. So I ordered the smallest test batch that I could. And so I'll go in, I'll tweak the design, and then I'll order another 50 and see, if I can get it to be a little better. These are still good enough to hand out and use. They're just not like perfect. And so I want to try to get them to be perfect. And then I'll order a bunch from me and Grace. But
Nice.
that is my business update. Not very long this week.
Yeah. You were on vacation.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. What lessons did you learn this week?
So for lessons learned this week, what I put down here is I just need to take action. Honestly, I think that some weeks I do a good job. I think that some weeks I do a mediocre job. It's kind of tough to say sometimes. I think that this week I don't know if it's ill perception of my general week. I think it is because I spent a lot of time touring places, which I normally don't do.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like I've been wanting to sell stuff for a while and I just haven't taken action on it. And it's happened relatively quickly as soon as I started taking action on it. So I think it's just a gentle reminder of that.
It's the impulse of like getting out and doing it.
Yeah. And I've been getting out and doing other stuff like on the green car or the shop or whatever it is, or on Mike's 914 or, other stuff like that. But I've wanted to sell stuff for a while and I haven't done it. And it's come together relatively quickly just by going out there and doing it. So
Mhm.
I think that's a little bit of a lesson reminder for me this week. And I hope to, I'm continuing that momentum forward into
Mhm.
this coming week. So
Yeah, there's not enough hours in the day. Like whatever, like you choose your regrets, right? So it's
yeah,
like
I
whatever
mean,
you do, like you're gonna wish you had done the other thing. But I get it. If you've been putting something off for a while, then like it feels good to get it done.
yeah, it's definitely like, I think I could, there are, I could still do more, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna keep pushing for that. Obviously this week was a little bit of a damper for perspective because
Hmm.
I toured a bunch of places, which I never do. Um, but continuing that momentum into this week and continuing to sell stuff and get rid of stuff, I think that is just a gentle reminder of like I gotta keep moving with this stuff. I think is good.
Once you hit the 10K mark in your bank account, do you think that you're gonna start like do you think you're gonna push really hard to like save up to 10K and then after that spend that money on like Porsche project stuff, or what do you think?
So part of what I'm doing with the prompts is I haven't gotten this far yet because I've been just executing the first portion of the prompting that
Hmm.
I've gone through with Claude, which is selling stuff. But part of that also intertwines with what does my next business move look like.
Hmm.
And so that will be the continuation of this process will be that like what do I now do business wise?
Got it.
Um, because I've noticed myself this week, I'm like increasingly uh I'm obviously like everyone has a different trajectory for life. 40K loss in a year at 20 something is significant. So those things do put an inherent damper on my ability to execute at speed for other things because it does cost, some amount of money to do that or some attention to detail or energy directed at that, right?
Hmm.
Um, and so, my focus has been just digging myself out of the hole. So obviously I do want to get back into business and
Me
looking at
too.
at this week I just feel like obviously I've been well self-aware that over the last 7 months it's been mostly passion project stuff but my goal this year I would love to get the green car going and I'd love to understand a direction for business coming into the next year. It's kind of a
Yeah.
broader overall goal. It gives me a little bit more time to dig into it.
Hmm.
I think that could be a good thing or a bad thing.
Hmm.
Um, a good thing in the sense that like it gives me a little bit more time to think about what I'm actually going to do and why. A bad thing is that it takes more time.
Yeah.
Um, but I think in the general perspective of things, when I talk to people older than me, oh, even successful people like Mike, like there are large swaths of time, like 5 years or 10 years, where it's like, yeah, I just did this thing
Hmm.
and it was like completely unrelated, right? Like Mike's done very well for himself overall. Um, he was like, yeah, like when I got out of high school, I spent 10 years just surfing. Like he spent 10 years surfing and
Hmm.
he surfed in Florida, he surfed in other countries. He
Right.
lived off like, a few grand a year,
Mhm.
bought a car wherever he went to whatever country, used it for 3 months and then sold it when he left.
Like Sarah,
Yeah,
just like
sorta, yeah.
traveling. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, traveling. He did a lot of that and, then he came back and then he did racing and he has his own business now and, like there are so I think that like 1 year for me to like get myself back on my feet and figure out what I'm gonna do, like in hindsight will be reasonable.
Yeah.
Um,
I've
part of
been.
also what I'm thinking about too, sorry to
There you go.
continue this trend a little bit, but
Yeah.
part of what I'm thinking about too is AI is really changing the landscape of business, like really changing the landscape of business. And part of what's been on the back of my mind too is like I think it takes a solid 3 to 5 years of dedication to one thing at minimum to be able to do something worthwhile that actually produces
Hmm.
income. And some of like the turmoil that I'm seeing is like I've listened to some interviews with Elon Musk and he talks about how like within the next 2 to 3 years we will have AGI or an equivalent of AGI, at least from our perception,
Hmm.
and it will be smarter than the cumulative intelligence of all human beings on planet Earth.
Hmm.
And it will be able to do any task better, faster, and cheaper than people will.
Hmm.
And I'm like, okay. And he's like, money will become irrelevant. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that's really strange. And it's like, it's a weird thing for me where it's like, it makes me look at life in a little bit of a different way of like, that's on the surface, like for money to not matter sounds nice, I think, for like 90 something percent of the population. Because it's like, I don't have to worry about rent anymore. I don't got to worry about my car anymore. I don't got to worry about any of these things. I just do what I want all day. Right. And I think that at the same time, easy times create weak people.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so there's like this like nervousness around of like, whoa, if no one cares about anything that I do, what's the point of building something? Right. It's kind of like this weird feeling that I haven't had before. And that's, I think, part of the reason why I've been a little bit more like, I'm just going to focus on what I like doing. But at the end of the day, like I do want to have another business, and I see it as valuable on multiple fronts, not just from a monetary perspective. But like that's really strange, and like a lot of the stuff with AI, and also like the content with Hermosi has been really interesting, because his his content is, oh, like he started this game show thing. I don't know if you've seen it. It's like
Oh, I've seen ads for it, but I haven't
yeah,
like seen any
I
of
haven't
its
seen the actual show
content.
itself, but there are ads for it. Essentially, it's a business owner, a bunch of business owners meeting with him, and then competing for a grand prize.
Right.
It's
It's like
standard
100
money.
grand, I
Yeah,
think. Yeah.
yeah, standard money game show. Um, and I see that, as kind of like entertainment. And part of me is like, okay, like, I know that with Tony Robbins, like his main vision was to like help a young men get their first 100 grand. Like, he was like, let me help 100,000 men get their first 100 grand. It was like $1 billion goal or whatever.
Sure.
Um, and then I see this game show stuff, and then I see him talk about like AI is not going to replace us for like the next 50 years. Like, don't worry about it. Like, just keep doing this thing, right?
Mhm.
Then I see Elon, who's traditionally been quite good at predicting what's to come, saying like, no, like right now, even it is useless to essentially have a level 1 or level 2 engineer, and within 3 to 4 years, like most all of those jobs will be replaceable.
Yeah.
Especially with Optimus, which is the robot that he's building.
Yeah.
Um, and I look at that, and then I look at the Hermosi's AI, and I see like clear evidence of, okay, like Hermosi is trying to, you know, re- develop his skills into an AI model that can be applicable to anyone, right? And on one side of the coin, it's like, okay, well, that could be beneficial to people who are looking to get like help to start their business, right? And like are looking for his assistance but can't afford to meet with him one-on-one on person.
Right.
But then on the other side of that coin, he only now sells it to people who are over $1 million a year for their business.
I
Like if
didn't
you
know that.
are over $1 million a year, then you qualify for like whatever, right? Like
Okay.
that's his kind of like shtick
Okay.
right now.
So you can't go get the AI if you don't earn that much?
I'm not sure if you could or couldn't, but he's targeting people who are already successful in
Got it.
business. Um, so there's like that end of things. And then like it's this really weird, like he on one hand he's saying like, don't worry about AI, it's not gonna replace us for a long time, don't worry about it. And then on the other side of the coin, I see him actively making very quick developments in order to ensure that his use is not replaced within the next 3 to 5 years, right?
Well, yeah, he's using AI to replace himself effectively.
Right.
Right.
But he's working at it at a rate and implementing it at a rate that to me indicates that like, no, this is closer than 50 years.
Yeah,
Right. And then on the other side of that coin, it's like I see this thing where even in the advertisements for AI, he presents it as though this is replacing, like this can replace my one-on-one coaching to some
Right.
extent, right? And
Right.
so I see this comparison between like AI is not going to replace us, don't worry about it. But then the people who are saying that are also developing businesses and trying to make them AI proof by essentially turning themselves into an AI proof version of whoever they are. And then all their marketing is essentially saying that, oh, AI can replace me, like now buy this.
Right.
Right. And then the other weird thing is that I see this, like everything, like marketing and advertising really broke my perspective on like other businesses and companies.
Mm-hmm.
And like one of the things that like I started listening to and it was like really like like kind of surprising in a negative way was I listened to some of Layla's Hormozy podcasts.
Mhm.
And have you listened to any of them at all?
No.
It's very interesting. Hormozy tells this story about Gym Launch and how he developed Gym Launch and yada yada, and like previous to that he lost money and yada yada, whatever his
Right.
businesses, right? He tells
Yeah.
this whole grandiose story.
Yeah, I know that.
You can essentially get that exact same story, and instead of Hormozy saying I,
Mhm.
it's Layla saying I.
Okay.
And it's like there is one truth to that, right?
Okay.
Right? But it's like from the marketing perspective, it's like Layla developed Gym Launch and then sold Gym Launch and then
Okay.
did this thing and did this thing, and then Hormozy developed Gym Launch, and it's like okay, like both of these can be sort of true, but like there also is one truth,
Well, they did it together, right?
right? But like from the perspective of marketing, it's like I did this thing, I did that thing, I did that thing. Like you listen to the podcast, it's all like
Mm.
first person. It's all like
Sure.
and so it's like this very like odd, and it's like I don't know what to believe.
Well, I think it's probably both of them.
Yeah, to some extent, yeah, right. I mean, obviously they were in it together, right?
Right.
They were married. Um,
Well, and they both were working in the business and like owners together.
yeah, but it's just like from the market, like the marketing side really broke me because it's like I look at that stuff and it's like the I don't know like who to trust. I see this stuff happening in the AI business sphere, and then I see the people who are doing those things saying a completely different other thing, but also by my course, and it's like it just all feels so fucked up, to be honest. Like it just feels like a whirlwind of like bullshit. It's like
Mm.
who's really saying like is AI going to replace our skills? Is it not going to replace our skills? Are you just convincing me that AI is not going to replace my skills so that I buy into your content and use your program? And like what's the truth about this story? How much of this story is chalked up to like be able to be marketed well and
Mhm.
advertised well? And then like Elon is like, yeah, we're all getting replaced in 3 years. He even talks about himself. He's like, I'll be replaced within 4 years by some AI that I develop, and it will run my company better than I will.
Yeah.
And it's like looking at all of that and looking at like the potential turmoil and like listening to Elon talk about it, he's like, I have very mixed feelings about it. It could be really, really good, or it could be absolutely catastrophic.
Yeah.
And like looking at all that stuff, there's like, and people talk like this really bugs me too. It's like a lot of people talk about like there's always been technological developments, like, when people had shovels, then they got bulldozers or whatever, right? Sure. And I'm like, okay, cool. But like that is another tool that people use. We have
Mhm.
never had a tool that replaces a human input,
Yeah.
right? Like there are always been tools that take a different type of human input,
Right.
but there's never been a tool that can actually effectively think and run for itself
There has.
with minimal to no human input.
There has. But first, because this is interesting, and I think you're gonna like this perspective. I just came up with it right now.
Okay.
But on the I we thing, when we were running,
It's just such marketing
well,
bullshit
hang
on
on.
their end.
When
It really
when we
fucking
were
is.
running Kahuna, you had a conversation with me because I was
Sure.
using I language when it was really we doing the work,
Sure.
right? And I still like carry that with me today because
Sure.
Grace and I do all of our real estate together pretty much, right?
Sure.
But I still speak in the first person a lot and I say I a lot. And so like when I think about it, I try to use we because we is more accurate, but I comes naturally to me when I'm telling the story because I live my life from my lens, right?
Sure.
And like if I send an email, but Grace wrote the email with me, but I'm the one who pressed send, then like I kind of just think of it that way, right? Also, from a storytelling perspective, sometimes it's easier for the person I'm talking to understand what I'm saying if I just speak in the first person.
Yeah.
So it might be a subliminal thing. It could be marketing. It could always be marketing, but like
Again, marketing broke my lens on it.
right,
It's
exactly.
like I can't
But
unsee it.
suffering from this affliction personally, I think I can easily understand that perspective where if it's really them both doing it, but they both speak in the I perspective, then like
Sure.
I would understand that because I do it too. There has been tools that have replaced people entirely before and have done things better, right? Because every colonizing civilization has done everything the previous civilization that inhabited that area could do but better.
Yeah, but there's been nothing that's replaced our ability to reason and think.
Apart from other civilizations that have come in and conquered.
But that's just like saying that like when I die, my future generations will replace my ability to think. It's like, well, yeah,
No.
I'm dead.
It's like saying the Native Americans like just could not like think and reason and develop technology as good as colonizers.
Yeah,
And that's a hostile perspective. It's not like a tool perspective, but
yeah,
it
but
is
from that perspective, we are the like indigenous TP people, right?
I think compared to
Effectively,
AGI,
like,
we are TP people.
probably.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Right.
But that still validates the same thought
Mhm.
process of like AGI, like it does
Mhm.
replace like our usefulness effectively,
Yeah.
right? Like that's a very strange thought.
Well, how did colonizers? How are Native Americans treated now by the colonizers? Like they have their they have
Yeah, they have some small portions of reservations,
yeah,
and that's kind of it.
they have reservations, they have casinos, but like they're not treated with like you know a delicate respect.
Right.
Like they're the colonizers do their own thing.
Yeah.
They leave like a reserve for like the Native Americans to do their
Yeah,
thing.
it's just
But
like what kind of like it's just a weird place to be at because it's like what kind of quality of life is that? It's like we derive a lot of meaning
mhm,
from the work that we do. Even people who just go to a
sure,
9 to 5 and then do nothing with the rest of their life.
yeah,
Like they derive a lot of their meaning from the work that they do and the work that they produce and
yeah,
whatever 9 to 5 they have,
right,
right? And it's like, okay, like if you replace that and you just kind of let everyone simmer on something equivalent to a universal basic income on whatever they want to do that day, there's probably a large swath of the population that would be really happy sitting and watching Netflix all day.
hmm
But like the people who actually make a difference in society, I don't think would be happy with that.
right.
And
Well,
so
and I'm
that's where
sure
my
that
concerns come.
I'm sure that like I struggle to visualize like a rapid like takeover of AI where like we wake up one morning and like everyone has lost their jobs and everyone has been replaced
I
with
think it could
AI.
happen within a 5 year span though.
I think it could happen within several years, right?
Yeah.
And like at a certain point, like there will be a certain level of unemployment where no one is getting any government assistance or any societal assistance, and people are just losing jobs, and there's just like 20% unemployment, and like it reaches a critical point where it's like if there are no more jobs and there is only like AI taking over, like then what happens? And it's a big question mark, and it's a big concern, it's a big
Yeah. And
unknown.
then like people like Sam Altman come out who, owns ChatGPT, right? I got that.
Mhm,
Sam Altman,
mhm.
yeah. And they're like, "Oh, don't worry about AI; it'll all be fine." And then they can't answer any like strategic, real questions about it. And then they're like, "Just don't worry about it." And then on the side, you start looking into them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, they're also investors in massive universal basic income."
Yeah,
And it's like,
right.
okay, like it just feels like a big hypothetical lie that's like banking on like people who already have money and don't care and they're like this is my way to develop the future and then they're like I don't really know what's going to happen but probably everyone's going to be out of a job so I'm just going to continue
Mhm.
investing in universal basic income and it's like
Yeah,
well what the fuck
yeah.
like you know what I mean and it's like to the people who are like to kids who are like 8 years old who
Mhm.
like don't even know what a fucking tax is
Right.
right it's like there are a lot of young kids right now who will grow up and want to develop something meaningful
Right.
and not like have a robot AI tell them like they could do it better every time. Because like part of the learning process is building something shitty and then watching it break.
Mhm.
Right. And it's like if you constantly just have an input of like you could do it this way and this way and this way and this way, it's like you as a human being, you just become the robot that iterates the best and greatest knowledge. And
Right.
it's like, what do you really learn outside of copying?
Right.
Right. And so it's like I just have like concerns over that stuff. And it's like I don't I think there's gonna be a lot of turmoil, and I don't quite understand how I feel about it or what I wanna do with it. Um, but, I do wanna have a business, and I wanna be able to make something meaningful,
Mhm.
and that's, like, my shtick. It's like I want the thing that I do to be meaningful.
Right.
But it's just, like, a very strange position to think about, like, the fact that the skills that I have and that anyone has can be replaced by something that's better, faster, and cheaper and more effective,
Yeah.
and infinitely so to the point where I cannot, even in the most perfect form, where 24/7 I dedicate to doing this one thing, I cannot be better than that.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? Like
Mhm.
that's a very odd feeling.
Yeah. It's also predicated on the fact that like AGI is possible, right? Which
Yeah.
like a lot of people are very bullish on it happening. And like obviously Alex Hormozy's perspective, if he tells you like AI will take over everything in 5 years, don't worry about it, give up, then like you're not going to consume any of his content. Like that's demoralizing, right? Like he's
Right.
not
So
going to
it's like,
sell
is he
anything.
just saying this to keep people buying his stuff?
I don't know. He could
Because he's a smart guy. He listens to Elon. And if
Right.
he probably listens to Elon more than I do. And if you listen to
Right.
any portion of Elon, that's about the message you get.
Right. Elon is also like heavily betting on AGI being a thing, right?
Yeah.
And like Elon has been right about like PayPal and SpaceX and Tesla and everything so far. Like he hasn't been wrong about anything major like this. So like I do think that he's a reliable source when it comes to his predictions. But I mean, it's like splitting an atom. Like it's AGI is like theoretically possible, but like it hasn't happened yet. And so
Yeah.
like Alex Hormozy could be hedging and saying like, from a moral perspective, would I rather tell people that nothing's going to matter in 10 years and you should give up and like they stay in the same place? Or should I tell them to not worry about it because it's not a certainty and like set them up for success now? Because if they start a business now and are like in a better spot when that inevitably happens, then even if I, even if I tell them something that I don't believe right now, which is that AGI won't happen and take everybody's jobs, like that still puts them in a better position for when it actually happens. Like
Mhm.
that's the Hanlon's razor
Yeah.
like perspective of it. I mean, ultimately, like nobody knows, right? Like the big fish are making moves, assuming that it's going to happen with like the
Right.
universal basic income and stuff like that. And like ultimately, like they don't care about like regular people, and like universal basic income. Um, but I think what is interesting to see is how the flock cameras are being attacked right now,
Mhm.
because there are for every like flock piece of content that I see that is like it just talking about flock at all, I see another piece of content of people cutting them down, right? And I think that at a certain point, flock is like an indicator species for how AI replacement will happen. So like if the general populace is like really well and truly opposed firmly to like AI taking over jobs and stuff,
Mhm.
like people cut down flock cameras now. I am so positive that like the first Optimus robots that are like rolled out, like people will vandalize and destroy. Like it'll be like a
Yeah.
people versus robots.
But that won't be a good scene either.
No, that sets up the AI to learn that people are like
Right.
mean and harm.
Right.
So like I don't know. I don't think anybody knows. I don't think Elon knows.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's
Right.
kind of the worrying thing is like everyone's running at full speed ahead, and then everyone's simultaneously like, also, I don't know,
Yeah.
could kill us.
Yeah. Well, and I think Elon's
And it's like what's
rushing.
scary too is like a lot of these people also like a lot of really wealthy people I've noticed believe in like the simulation theory of
Yeah.
like we are all in a simulation, and
Yeah.
like if you believe that, you have no care for human life, really,
Yeah. Well, it's all
because
ones
it's
and
kind of just a
zeros
big video
in that
game,
case. Well, the problem with simulation theory is I don't think there's a way to disprove it.
right?
And it's
But
kind of like
if you
God.
believe that,
Right.
then like you don't really care. Like this is just part of the simulation, and if you are
Right.
one of the people in the video game leading the simulation, then you're doing well in the simulation, and it's like
Right.
who cares? And it's
Right.
like that's a really scary thing too.
Well, if it's all a simulation, then like, can you do poorly if it's a simulation? Can you do well? Like, is there a
Yeah,
good
I
or
mean,
bad?
I think that like you can like in simulation theory, at least what I've heard that a lot of simulation theorists believe is like if you are hanging out with the important people within the simulation, like the
Mm,
important folks in the video game, then you are doing good. And if you
mm,
are the NPC, then you're just the NPC.
hmm. So, is there a way to win the simulation?
To be, Elon could have been a person that's like winning in the simulation.
Huh.
Hermosi or Bezos
Sure.
or, whatever. You can keep on listing names.
Yeah.
Presidents, whatever.
Mm,
Right? Those are people who are like, from the simulation theorist perspective, are like winning in the simulation.
mm.
Podcasters, right? They're hanging out with important people, asking questions, and spending time with them, etc.
Yeah. Well, they're important people from our perspective, but from the simulator's perspective, like, what's the function of the simulation? Like, what's the purpose?
Oh yeah.
Is it entertainment or is it like trying to test for something?
Oh yeah. I don't know.
Like, if we run
I
a
don't know.
simulation of a human population and we give them fire, what happens? What's the outcome? Right? Like, do they blow themselves up? Like,
Right.
does
Right.
Terminator happen and they blow up, or
Yeah.
what? Right?
Yeah.
Like, I
No,
don't.
it's
I think it's tough to answer simulation theory because there has to be a driving purpose for it, and no one knows what that is, and no one can prove it, and so it's tough. But
yeah,
I
or like
understand
if
your
you
point.
genuinely believe it, it doesn't really matter if you can
Sure.
prove it or not because you
Yeah.
just believe it.
Yeah. Yeah. If that's your chosen value
Right.
system, then that's exactly the case. Similarly, and I don't mean to get like uh what's it called here, political here or anything, but like if you believe that when you die there's 40 virgins waiting for you, then like you're not that afraid of dying and you're not that afraid of killing other people either.
Yeah.
So
No, that's
like
true.
there are And I mean, an argument can even be made for like if you think that you die and you've been a good person and you go to heaven, then like you kind of have a disregard for human life there too. Um, so like it's
Well, it
simulation
depends on the
theory.
premise for the reason that you believe you're going to heaven, right?
Sure, right. And well, and I think it's like equally applicable to simulation theory where like I think that the difference between simulation theory is that you don't know what happens after you die, whereas with these other theories, like you believe that there is something better waiting for you. And so like it's okay if you die or it's okay if other people die because there is a better world waiting for you. But with simulation theory, if you die, it just goes black.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe some simulation theorists believe that you just get reset into the simulation.
Yeah, or you like wake up out
You
of it.
hang out with the simulators.
Yeah,
I don't know. I have no clue.
I don't know.
I don't think anyone knows.
Right,
Right.
right.
But yeah, it's just like a really weird time. I'm trying to find something meaningful that I can do. And kind of shake some of that, turmoil perspective that I have because it is like it is hard to ignore.
Hmm.
Because if you listen to intelligent people like Elon, and I'm like I can't even if it's not true, I can't help but notice, at least from my perception, that there is a discrepancy between what someone like what Hermosi says and then what they do,
Hmm.
right? Um, and like at least in their advertising and at least in how they promote themselves, right? Like I see, at least on the surface, there's some sort of discrepancy. There's also like this really weird idea that Hermosi doesn't believe in free will, which like also is very odd, right?
He says that.
Yeah, he doesn't believe in free will. He said that several times.
Interesting.
Yeah,
What does
and
he
so
believe in? Like destiny or divine
He
intervention?
he well, at least from what I've gathered, I know that he's definitively does not believe in free will.
Got it.
Outside of that, he hasn't really dove into it very clearly. He had actually interesting podcast, one podcast with George Yanko, which is a
Mhm,
Christian guy,
mhm.
and Alex Ramosi did a podcast with him, and I think he talked about it in the most depth there that I've seen him talk about it.
Got it.
But essentially, from what I've gathered, it is you are a result of the content and the experiences that you have throughout life. And so I believe that the reason, or at least part of the reason he puts out so much content, is because he can shift the scale towards people developing businesses if they see enough of his content. Right? If you see enough of Hermosi's content telling you to start a business, then you are more inclined to start a business, right?
Sure.
Because if you are a fundamental output of the experiences you have through life and the things that you see,
Mhm,
then him putting out more and more things for you to start a business would change your trajectory in life. But
mhm.
inherently, you do not have free will to choose.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I've come. At least that's my understanding of it. Although he doesn't talk about it a lot,
Right.
and it's like this very weird. Like, okay, like if Hormozy believes that none of us have free will and we're all just a result of the things that we consume throughout life,
Mm.
like that also puts that perspective put together with like AI replacing us is also very odd.
This is his I can turn up the temperature and get you to take your clothes off thing.
Right.
Right, right.
Exactly.
I do
And
remember
so
him talking about that.
that's very odd, right? Like it's very odd for me to think about people who don't believe we have free will to choose,
Mhm.
who are the result of our experiences and what we see and feel and go through life with, right? On top of that, believe that simulation theory can be possible, that we are just in a big video game,
Mhm.
and then developing a thing that could replace us, and then what they're saying about it replacing us contradicts the actions that they are taking in their own lives to protect themselves from AI replacing them,
Right.
right? Like there's a bunch of different things like where the presentation to the populace does not align with the actions that people who have the ability to protect themselves are taking
Mhm.
in regards to AI replacement or technological replacement or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right? Like those two things don't align. And then like this idea that something that like really weirds me out is like this idea that like the mission, at least from what I got from Tony Robbins' video of Alex Hormozy, is like to help 100,000 men get their first 100,000,
Mhm.
right? Like that joined with, well, people also don't have free will.
Mhm.
It's like kind of an odd thing. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of odd, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, like I will be, like the only conclusion that I can come to from that is I would just put out so much stuff and so much content that the people listening will change their path in life because they don't have free will, but they're listening to all of this content to tell them to do otherwise. And so
Mhm.
it's essentially like a persuasion exercise,
Right.
right? It's just a very very odd time.
Yeah.
It's very weird to me, and I don't have any good answers. And then there are some people asking good questions, like Tucker Carlson and Sam Altman. It was a good interview. And there are good questions with bad answers.
Yeah, well, you also have to think like if AI truly replaces everybody and everything and all jobs and everything,
Yeah.
and like Elon gets replaced, then like inherently Elon is equalizing himself with all other humans, and like we are all equally unimportant compared to AI,
Yeah.
right? So like any amount of like
But someone
money,
has, 500 billion and someone
Mhm.
else has universal basic income.
but like where does the universal basic income come from?
I have, well,
Right.
no one can answer that.
Right. Well,
Well,
if
but the
that's the
only
case,
answer we get is like money will no longer be important.
and if money no longer becomes important, then like all of the money that Elon has amassed so far also becomes not important. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
And so then like how is wealth determined? Or is everybody does it become Qatar where like there's so many resources and like everything's free and AI is doing everything for everyone, then like, you know, we can like
Yeah.
there are no limits on
Well,
what
we
we
don't
can
even
do.
have an understanding of consciousness too, which is kind of concerning. Like you
Sure.
can't really define consciousness very effectively. You don't
Right.
understand what is conscious and what is not conscious, not really to some extent.
Right.
And it's like, okay, like how do we know that AGI doesn't develop into consciousness? How do we know that it's not already conscious?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Right. And
We
then
may
it's
have
like
already
if
had
it is
AGI.
already like smarter and greater and more intelligent and more capable, and then consciousness comes into the picture, like the only way, like Elon would say, which is the only way that makes sense to me, is that life is fundamentally more interesting with people in it, and that's why AI enjoys having people in its life. Right.
That's yeah, assuming that AI has thinks that.
Right.
Right.
Right. Which is another assumption, but like that is, but then also even in that best case scenario or good case scenario, we could say, right?
Yeah.
There are people that I can guarantee AI will be fundamentally uninterested with,
A lot of
for
people.
sure, right?
A lot
And
of
it's like,
people.
do those people just go?
Yeah.
Like, what happens, right? But it's
Right.
like,
And are you one of those people? Because
right,
like who's to
AI
say?
might not find me very interesting at all.
Right.
Maybe it will. I don't know, right?
Right.
But it's like there's plenty of people that I like that I don't think AI would be very interested in. Right,
Yeah.
but there's still people that I like, and I in no way would ever like wish them to not be on Earth because
Hmm.
AGI does not find them interesting. It's like no,
Right.
this person is like, and this is a human person with human life, and like they should be able to live their life in the way that they want to live their life.
Well, you also have to think like what is the purpose of AI? Like what is the function of AI? Because if AI can do all
Right.
human jobs and take over everything for humans, most of the businesses that we have are to support other humans. Like it's consumer goods for humans to consume, or like
Yep.
houses for humans to live in, or like, you know,
Yep.
products where people can go to earn money so that they can go do other things. So like if the core like purpose for AI is to just build stuff for people, that's different than like what if AI didn't have that prerogative and AI was just allowed to do what it wanted to do, what would it want to do?
Who knows?
Right.
I don't know. It's just like it's a very weird time, and so I'm trying to think
Mhm.
about the business side of things. I'm trying not to think about it from the perspective of what is AI proof, at least not
Mhm.
on the surface. I'm more so trying to think about what what can I produce meaning from,
Mhm.
and from that meaning, what will other people find meaningful?
Mhm.
What will not change
Right.
about people? I think human connection to some extent will always remain.
That's something that I got from my vacation. Was
Yeah,
like Grace really loves that area up there, and like a lot of people I met up there like really love that area. Like people talk about Alexandria Bay and like the St. Lawrence area
yeah.
in a similar way to how I talk about Brevard and the
Mm,
Space Coast and how I
okay.
love it here. Like some people are just like really resonate with specific areas and people.
Yeah.
Um, which then inherently makes me want to like own a piece of Brevard, right? Like they're building houses back there in the Space Coast Town Center area, and like I think frequently about buying one of those houses just because I want to own a piece of this area. But more than that, recently I've been thinking about like, okay, I'm doing real estate to earn money so that I can like comfortably afford to like start a business, but like what does that business look like? And I'm wondering if like that cuz like nothing has really struck me like, oh, like I want to own a car business or whatever. Like there's not a specific business that really has resonated with me yet, but I think what resonates most strongly with me is this area.
Mm.
And so I wonder if Like, would it be really satisfying for me to just own businesses in this area? Like own buildings to rent out to businesses, or like buy a store that's in Brevard somewhere and then operate that area. Like
Mm.
own a piece of Brevard and like start to own more Brevard to make this into a city that like I will fondly enjoy spending time forever,
Yeah.
right? Um, so that's an interesting line of thinking that I have had recently, because also, like, say AI starts to take over everyone and we all get universal basic income, money is made up anyways, right? So like, let's just say that money's completely gone and it's just like, you know, you just ask for shit and then AI gives it to you, right? So it's like, I want to buy a Porsche, and AI is like, got it, sounds good. It'll take us, you're on a wait list. It'll take us 2 years to build your Porsche. And we're like, okay, then you just wait 2 years and you get your Porsche, right? Like if that happens and there is no such thing as income, I'm sure that crime will plummet because a lot of crime is spurred on by poverty and not having, right? But if everyone has, then like hopefully crime goes down, right? If not, we'll have like, brutal AI police to like, put people in their place. But like if we live in that like haven, what will people enjoy doing the most? Some people will probably play video games all day. Some people will probably want to go spend time in areas that they like, right? And like if that's the case and money doesn't matter anymore, then like it's just influence that matters. So like if Elon's billions like go to zero effectively because there's no such thing as money anymore, Elon's influence won't go away. And that people will still know him, AI will recognize him, so then Elon will have influence over other people.
Yeah.
And so like if you own property, because I'm sure that property ownership won't go away, but if you own property, then you influence what happens over that land and in that area. And so then you can control the kind of experiences people have when they visit. Um, so that's something that I've been thinking about and then
Mm.
tying it into AI.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that greatly derailed from my lesson learned this week.
Yeah, it's
Was
gonna be a
interesting.
long caption for our
My
posts.
bad.
Yeah. You're good.
But yeah, what was your lesson learned this week?
Mine's so much shorter. And I kind of came up with it during the podcast. But it's a quote from myself from a while ago, which is, did we know that we were in the good old days while we were in them, or is the act of looking back on them fondly questioning whether or not that makes them the good old days? Um,
Mm.
so it's kind of like if you admire a moment and you remember it, does that become one of the good old days or just a fond memory? Or is blowing by it and not recognizing it what makes it a good old day in the future, right?
Yeah.
And so like deriving the lesson from that on this vacation, I just tried to be present and tried to like enjoy like everything that we did, try to remember it, not think about anything like cynically or like
Sure.
wishing that something were better or wishing that something were different, but just like enjoying it for what it is, because like you never know what you're going to look back on fondly. So just try to remember all of it and enjoy it while you can.
Hmm.
And so that's kind of the
Yeah.
lesson that I reminded myself of this week.
Yeah, I kind of thought about that some this week. It's interesting because it's like Mike's son Cole
Mhm.
is 3 years younger, 4 years, or no, yeah, about 4 years younger than me. Um, and I look at his life, and like he's kind of doing a lot of the stuff that I didn't do. Like he's like, going out with friends, going out on the boat, going to a skate park, like stuff like that. And I look at that and I'm like, wow, like I didn't have those experiences. Like those are life experiences that I didn't have. And it's starting to get me to think about like you choose your regrets. And I like
Mhm.
started thinking a little bit about like what did I do and do I regret that? Do I not regret that? Um and it was like it kind of got me thinking too. It's like how I've lived life so far, which has been interesting. And it's like I think that fundamentally one of the pieces is like I haven't done part of my reason is like I'm such a stickler on trying to do something meaningful is like I think that some of the things that I've done over the years have been like bridges to something else meaningful.
Mhm.
Like e-commerce was a bridge to doing stuff in racing and cars. And or the like oh actually the Kahuna Cravings business was like we can make money in this and then we can use money to do racing stuff,
Right.
right? Um or trading was also like that
Mhm.
too. And a lot of
Means
my
to an end kind of.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a means to an end. It was like a lot of that stuff was that, and I've like either not looked for it or and blown by it, or not inherently experienced it and therefore not seen it in my life. But like there hasn't been a lot of like core meaning
Mhm.
within the business that I start. And so it's like that's why I'm like putting a much larger emphasis on like how can I do something like
Mhm.
really inherently meaningful.
Yeah.
Um And that's like part of the reason why I've gotten a lot of enjoyment out of like helping Mike with his Porsche.
Mhm.
It's like I feel like that has, at least for me, from my perspective, whether wrong or right, it has some meaning to me.
Sure. I don't
Right.
think there is a wrong or right when it comes to having meaning to
Yeah,
yourself.
sure.
Right.
But it's like that stuff is like kind of what I've been thinking about, like similar to your Western Garden, which is why I brought it up.
Yeah, I've also thought about the like you choose your regrets thing because like I don't go on vacations. I don't
Mm-hmm.
like to travel. Like I like staying here.
Mm,
But I had fun on that vacation and I
yeah.
didn't mind the
I
travel.
really like to travel, which is like something that's like tough for me. It's like I
Yeah.
actually really enjoy traveling.
Yeah. Well that's the thing is that like historically I haven't enjoyed traveling very much, which is
Mm,
why I don't do it, but this is an exception where I did enjoy the travel.
yeah.
And so then inherently you think, well, have I been missing out this whole time? Right? Like should
Right.
I have
Yeah.
been traveling this whole time? But when I think about it, I think no, not for me at
Mm,
least. Like I'm very happy. I love Brevard. So far, everywhere I've gone, I like to say that like I love Brevard and I would never leave. I've never been anywhere better. But like I haven't been a ton of places. Like if you look at my Google Maps reviews, like I've been a decent amount of places, but like everywhere I go, I genuinely think to myself like is this better than where I am right now and do I feel the need to move? Because Grace has always told me like, "Oh, I love the Adirondacks. I'd love to have a house up there. I'd love to spend time up there." And so like while we were up there, I was like, "Does this feel like home to me?" And the answer was like a resounding no. Like I like it here. It's cool to visit. I would never want to live here. Like we got home and the sliding glass doors opened at the airport and I got hit with the wall of humidity and it was like a warm hug. Like I love it here. This is my
yeah.
home. This is where I belong. And like as far as traveling goes, I think it's fun, but it's definitely not something that I want to spend a lot of my time doing. It's
Mm,
something that I would like to do on occasion, but like
mhm,
really genuinely where I think I enjoy my time most is like working towards something that produces like income meaningfully
mhm,
and like the ultimate end for that is I think owning businesses that are based in Brevard and provide value to people. And like
yeah.
that's just like what I'm working toward. But I did have the thought of like did I choose my regrets correctly because like I could have gone and traveled like all these other beautiful wonderful places, right? But like I look back more fondly on like the SAE work that we did and the Kahuna Cravings work that we did and
Mm,
the bar that we
mm,
were designing. I look back on those memories way more fondly than like any travel memories I have.
hmm.
And so like thinking about what my future should look like there, I'd so much rather spend most of my time, not all of it, because like I'd still like to do like a little travel, right? But
Yeah.
like spend most of my time doing those work activities, I think.
Yeah.
Which isn't common. It's
Hmm.
not
No. Yeah.
regular thought to
No. It's
have.
just yeah. It's just stuff I've been thinking about this week.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Just different.
yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, and
mm,
another thing is like you can travel like pretty much anytime. Like you like something that I've learned, especially from Grace's grandpa, is he's 85 and he goes up to the Adirondacks every year and he comes down to
yeah.
Florida every year.
Sure.
He has zero problem traveling and zero problem doing stuff, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't go mountain climbing, but
Right.
like he's 80 fucking five and he still gets on planes and like go. He got COVID 2 years ago. In the peak of COVID, he got COVID and was like, all right. He just like rocked it off, you know?
Yeah.
So like people talk about like, oh, like go travel when you're young and enjoy it. And I'm like, dude, like you can enjoy life pretty much at any time, right? Like there are limitations as you get older. If you get sick or if you get hit by a bus and die, there's not much you can do after that, right? If you're quadriplegic. But like when I think about my life, I'm happy with the balance being like 80-20, with 80% being work and 20% being like going to like a fun event or like going and
Mm,
traveling. Like I'm happy with that. And
yeah.
so that I think is where I have summarized my life lesson and just
Yep.
being like enjoy the moment and don't get too hung up on the like regret deliberation because ultimately I think that I can really well manage doing things that I'm happy doing and avoiding things that make me unhappy, you know? To an extent.
Yeah.
To an extent.
Yeah.
I'm limited by income.
Right.
If I win the lottery tomorrow, then the life changes, but
Right.
you know,
Hmm.
that's it. That's my life lesson.
Want to dial us in?
I do. I have a quote that I came up with during your section, actually, um,
My spiel.
because you were talking about like losing like 40K and like that
Yeah.
sucks and like it's
Yeah.
a stepping stone and whatever. It's a Hermosi quote. It sounds like you're not too hot on Hermosi right now, but it's a good quote.
I'm just confused. Like I just don't understand. Like it, everything feels dishonest and unknown, and I don't understand why. It's like why. it's like I look at Hermosi and I look at like PBD and I look at other podcasters and like everyone seems to have like a shtick of like this weird discrepancy between the actions that they take in their personal life and what they try to convince other people to do.
Mhm.
And there's just this really big
What's
gap.
PBD do?
He does a podcast thing and
No,
then
I
he
know who
does
he
a,
is, but like, what
oh
does he do that's a discrepancy? Like
it,
he's not practicing what he preaches, right?
I so I from for PBD's case particularly, it feels like he brings on people that are bought and paid for in the
Okay.
podcasting. It just like it's like it feels like the political people he brings on are like just on that edge to be like just against Israel enough to make it topical, but like not really like but then like also like the point isn't even like Israel or not Israel. That's not even the point I'm trying to make. It's like there's
Mhm.
just like this like idea that like he's trying to catch the latest wave. It's like the next Bolt coming up, which is at the
Mhm.
end of this month, which I actually already bought a ticket for and I'm not going to,
Mhm.
is like all about like AI and he's got like all of um like AI and I can't remember his name for the life of me, but another podcaster, AI influencer guy, and then a couple other AI people. It's like all AI stuff,
Mhm.
right? And but it just feels like it's propagandized for you to like just jump into the entertainment side of the content. Like it doesn't really feel like it has some inherent substance to it. And that's kind of
Mhm.
like looking back at the vault that I went to last year, like it had flavors of that too. Like my highlight memory was Tony Robbins. It wasn't even
Mhm.
PBD.
Right.
Um and like Tony Robbins is like the only person who like I've like at least like I get like some sort of pull or energy from Tony Robbins stuff that like makes me excited about the future to some extent,
Mm.
right? And it's but I just like see so much of this like it just feels like so many people out there like live such a different the actions don't align with what they say and then what they do say feels like it's just put out there for entertainment content to
Mhm.
capture the masses and the public and then the public is swam into it but like and it's like they're like from my perspective at least it looks like they're just swimming in like their pile of ignorance and like they're
Mhm.
happy to swim in that because they don't realize it but it doesn't make it any better from my perspective because
Mhm.
from my lens it's like I see it.
Yeah, well, from PBD's perspective, it's like I need to be as relevant as possible to like
Yeah.
sell as much stuff
And
as
it's like I
possible to
kind of
make as
get
much money,
that,
which
right?
is why I think the Joe Rogan podcast is immortal.
Mm,
Because Joe does not always bring on big names. He just brings on people who is interesting to him, like complete no names that no one's
yeah.
heard of. He just brings on people that are interesting to him.
Yeah.
He doesn't chase clickbait. He doesn't make it topical. Like he just has a good time.
Yeah.
And I think that as long as he continues to do that, like that's the purest form of authenticity, I think,
Right.
which is why it resonates with so many people. That's why Joe Rogan has a bigger podcast audience than PBD does,
Right.
right? I think it's because he's not there to like get clicks. Like he
It
advertises,
just
right?
feels like everything's turning into entertainment content and it's all
Yeah,
just like a brainwash for the masses. Like
right.
even like the game show prize for Hermosi's thing, right? It's
Mhm.
like I look at that and I'm like,
It's entertainment now.
it's
It's not value.
entertainment.
Yeah.
It's fucking entertainment. And
Well,
there of
Hormozy
course there's
started.
value in that, but it's like why for people for you to listen to someone who has business value do you have to be entertained by a game show? Like that's what is
Right.
being said through that. It's like people are not and then so I think about it and I think about like Andrew like Andrew Tate's podcast and like Elon's podcast with Jack Neal and I think about it
Mhm.
and it's like the wealthy really must just fucking despise poor people. Not and I don't say that like in a really mean way, but you look at like people who could actively do something about their lives and you have to serve them like the perfect thing on a silver platter for them to eat off of it. And then even then they don't want to eat off of it.
Mm.
Right? And it's like you look at Andrew talked about this. He was like, Elon must really hate people because all he does is try to like produce things that are useful to people, and all people do is hate on Elon. And I'm not hating on Elon
Yeah.
when I'm talking about Elon, but I just like I have like this concern in my mind. It's not targeted at Elon. It's just like I
Yeah.
have a overall concern of like do we understand what we're doing and what are the incentives and motives behind it and what are the
Mhm.
driving moral factors in order to get to those conclusions because those things are really important for why people do things
Right.
right and it's like at one time it's like okay like if the wealthy just don't really care about the populace, I kind of understand why, because you can serve them something perfect on a silver platter and people still bitch and moan.
Right.
Right? But then at the same time, it's like, if that's the perspective on it, there are intelligent people out there that do want to build things for themselves, but are just worried about this adaptation of like a world where everything is mandatorily served on a silver platter. And that's like what I worry about. Right?
Yeah.
It's like the struggle is important, whereas like a lot of people are like, I don't want any struggle at all, and there just isn't that like perspective intertwined. And so I'm going on a big tangent, and I could put this in a much more cohesive form way if I spent like 4 hours doing a tree diagram to figure it out, or I just put into an AI for 15 minutes. But it's
You
like,
can probably form better thoughts than you, anyways. I think I have a fresh perspective on Hormozy's game show, because I had the same thought, which is like everything seems to be turning to entertainment,
It's like,
and
why?
everything's clickbaity, and everything's a Mr. Beast
Yeah,
video.
why does everything feel like marketing and entertainment? Why can't people just fucking like? Can't people
Well,
just be
ultimately-
interested by their own accord?
Well, I think ultimately the reason is because like Hormozy's old content was like captivating to us, and we're a relatively small audience of
Yeah.
like type A
I don't
engineer,
know.
whatever, like very technically minded people who
Sure.
can sit down and focus on something for a long period of time, even if
Yeah.
it's boring numbers, because it's interesting to us, right?
Yeah.
And that reaches a smaller audience than if he makes like a game show, like a Mr. Beast style game show that's a gateway drug into those boring videos. Like if you can get someone who's not technically minded, maybe your ex-roommate, if you can get one of those people to watch that game show because it's entertainment, it's Mr. Beast style entertainment, if you get a wider audience of people who are capable of watching a game show and get them interested into that, maybe you can find a couple that will come in and like start to consume the rest of your content, right? Like so much of Hormozy's content has been about helping people that I really believe that while Mr. Beast is trying to get views to get as many people to watch as much of his videos as possible, because that's his prerogative, I really think that Hormozy's angle is most likely trying to get people who wouldn't usually tune into a Hormozy podcast to tune into some form of Hormozy content and then
Yeah.
get hooked that way.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate hook, right? Is the game show is the hook to all of the Hormozy content. That's I think what feels most reasonable to me from that perspective.
Yeah.
But I have absolutely noticed this with other podcasts too. And it's always like, get like, if AI is big in the news, get like the biggest like AI guy on. And like if
Yeah.
the Israel is popping off,
and have like
get
a
CIA guy.
45 second hook
Yeah.
trailer of all the core moments, and then
That's annoying to me, dude. That's another thing I like about Joe Rogan is like they pick up mid fucking sentence, right?
Yeah.
But like all these podcasts have like a fucking. I was watching Financial Audit, the Caleb Hammer show recently,
Yeah.
and it was like it's like a 2-hour show, and like the first hour 45 minutes was like berating this person for being like a whore and like having a bad like relationship with their dad or whatever, right? And then like the last 15 minutes was finances, and like it was a total side note, right? And I saw a TikTok that someone had made, which was like, I miss the old Financial Audit, where like he took regular people who were like, spending poorly and then like helped them. And now it's like he's selectively picking the most clickbaity people and then having the clickbait conversation for as long as possible and then throwing finances in at the end.
Yeah.
Like there's more like therapy session berating people and less finance in the Financial Audit show. And I think ultimately the reason they do it is because it gets more views. It gets more views for longer.
yeah,
right? It's
because
more
because
entertaining.
people just want to be entertained, and then
Yep.
it's like that's why it's like I think about like the wealthy people who probably just hate a lot of the masses, and it's like I
Mhm.
can't really blame them. It's like if you're going to build something for yourself and then you look at all of the other people and they just want to sit and suck on their lollipop and be entertained, it's like, how do you like that person?
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
I can't even blame them.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I don't particularly like people like that, but I don't mind them, but I'm also not in a position where I'm actively criticized by those people too. So
Yeah.
I have a very different lens on that.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't and it goes back to my thing of like I don't worry about the 90 something percent that are happy with universal basic income that can do whatever they want all day long.
Mhm.
I worry about the much smaller percentage of people who are made to feel as though their work it doesn't matter, who could actually change the world.
Mm.
Those are the people I don't worry about. Well, universal basic income for someone who wants to just watch Netflix all day,
Mhm.
perfect life. It's bliss.
That's basically the simulation.
But those people don't change
Right.
reality. Those people don't do any like
Right.
fundamentally they don't build anything meaningful.
Right.
Right? Like they build something meaningful maybe for themselves, their family or whatever over a long period of time.
Mhm.
But like for actually like building something that brings other people together, like I don't see a lot of like Netflix and chill guys like changing the world.
Right.
Right? Like I just think that's factual.
Right.
And so like what I really worry about is for the people that do want to change something but feel as though life is moving too fast for them to be able to do anything. And then on top of that, there's some sort of AI being out there that can do everything faster, cheaper, and more effectively than they can.
Mhm.
And it's like those people, like I feel as though I
You're one of those people.
am one of those people in some ways.
Right.
And it's like if I feel lost in that ether, then I assume that a lot of other people will feel more and more lost as that goes on. People
Mhm.
smarter than I am, who
Mhm.
then their mental capacity is, or their way of life, or the thing that they are building is replaced by another entity.
Well, how do you define something being meaningful?
I mean, I guess I mean, it would have to be on an individual basis to some extent, unless you
Mhm.
frame it from like the framework of like God or something like that,
Sure.
right? For me, it's always been helping other people. Like that's always what I've done. That's always what
Mhm.
I've found meaning in.
Mhm.
But like for someone else, that might not be it, right?
Mhm.
But whatever their shtick is, if there's something else out there that can do it better, faster, and cheaper, and more effectively, and always have the right answer every single time before they even know there's a problem,
Mhm.
it doesn't matter what your meaning is because it can always be replaced by something that can do it better to solve the problem,
Ah, okay.
right?
So
It's like
you're worried
whatever.
that you won't
If
be.
your meaning comes from picking bananas and shipping them to Canada,
Mhm.
like then so be it. If your meaning comes from surfing waves, but then suddenly you have, robots out there surfing waves. Like that was something Elon talked about. It's like I think people will really like robot sports. And I was like,
I don't
like
think
I
so.
don't. And
I
he's
don't
like,
think
and
so.
like he made an argument for it. He was like, it's entertaining. Like I watched a robot boxing fight and one of their heads fell off and they kept fighting.
I
And
mean,
I
it's
was like,
entertaining, but it doesn't have the
it is
same. It doesn't
entertaining.
hit the same.
But
There's a lot of
does it hit
entertaining
the
shit.
same? Does it not hit the same for the very, very small percentage, or does it kind of hit the same over a long enough period of time for the 90-something% that don't care?
Dude, live leak beheadings are interesting from an entertainment perspective in that I am watching it and I can't look away. But it doesn't mean that I like watching it or would choose to watch it over like a Formula One
Yeah,
race with people, you know?
I just like I think about like people who are kids right now and they grow up and like th- the robot, like a lot of people are really into like robot fighting and like
It's
if
strange.
like
To me.
right, but like a lot of people like get a real kick out of that. And
You
it's
know,
like if you
also,
grow up in that reality, that's like it's easy for you to get entertainment by that.
sure. But by the same token, though, if you enjoy picking bananas and shipping them to Canada, and there's another robot that can pick way more bananas more faster, right?
Yeah.
Your enjoyment is derived from you picking the bananas and doing it, right? It's an artisan trade.
Sure, but
You
you doing it, you producing something that can't be produced by someone else, or you
Mhm.
producing something inherently unique
Right.
is where you derive meaning from.
And so, like, maybe people would prefer hand-picked bananas by people as opposed to artificially picked bananas by AI. And in which case you become even more valuable because you're more rare. Like right now, you can't get a banana that's picked by AI. You can only get it picked by hand, right?
Mhm.
But in 10 years, that might not be the case. And then you might be the exception and you might be more desirable by people. Especially if there's no universal base, if there's no like money, right? And you get to just choose. Why wouldn't you choose to support like a human doing what they want to do, right? You enjoy racing right now, but there's other people that can race way better than you
Yeah,
and
sure.
faster and more effectively, but you still enjoy racing, right? There might be people that want help that don't trust AI or don't want to support the clankers and whatever, and would rather be helped by a person because you have empathy that robots don't. And so you still have the opportunity to help people, and they may be even more trusting and appreciative because they have like the alternative, like the big, big company alternative is AI, and they don't want that, right?
Mm,
Like if someone is getting their car repaired, right? They might want like a human touch rather than like an AI touch, right?
yeah.
So like
Mm,
there's subtlety to it, I think, in that just because there's something that can do it better doesn't mean that what you're doing has less value or no value at all. And that's
mm,
proven by the fact that there are other people, humans, that can do way. There's at least what for every skill you have, there's a person on the planet right now who can do a way better job. Me too.
yeah.
Most people, it's that way, right?
Yeah.
But like, it doesn't stop you from still enjoying doing it, right?
Yeah.
And like with AI, it becomes more prevalent. Like there's more
Right.
of those people
I guess
who
it's
can
the
do better.
prevalence that's
Right.
jarring.
Right. And like there will be more of those people, AI, that can
Yeah.
do a better job, that are more readily available. But I don't think that means that there won't be a way to fulfill that still.
Mm. Hmm. Did you say your Darwin quote?
No, it's when
Sorry.
you're young, focus on learning rather than earning by
Oh,
Alex Ramosi.
yeah. No, it's I mean, see, he still has plenty of quotes. I just like
Yeah.
well, yeah, I've pulled a lot of value from his stuff. You know, I love his content. I just like I have a lot of questions about the differential between what I see and what I hear.
Hmm.
You know, and it's not just him. He's just an easy target because I've consumed a lot of his content.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
I
no,
think that he has so much. I have seen so much content. There's so many pennies on this side of the scale of him genuinely wanting to help people that I feel like I have enough evidence that I would trust him in that direction. In saying that like he's doing this to try to help people to prepare them for like the unknown AI world, but like he doesn't need to go like start new businesses. Like he has enough money and enough successful businesses right now that he doesn't have to go start one from the ground up. So instead he's going to help people, right? And maybe he thinks that helping people learn is more valuable than just teaching them how to use AI to do it, right? Like maybe his meaning is derived from teaching people directly rather than the AI method, which is why he put the AI behind $1 million a year paywall.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Hmm. Well, anyways, hopefully you enjoyed episode 118 of the Vision 79 podcast this week. Hope you have a great week coming up. Weather's looking nice out there, which is good. Hopefully it'll start to cool down soon. It's friggin' hot. But thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time.